You're
All right, so
listening to
I just recorded.
Crazy.
Okay. So, welcome, guys. This is a subsection where my girl is not here. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna interview all my friends that I've been blessed with that I met online through playing Rocket League, and my first guest is gonna be my boy Skerp. So,
Oh,
do you want to go ahead and start and like tell them basically how we met? Because I really don't remember.
what?
Do you remember how we met? Because I was checking
Not really.
your profile on Discord and it says like 2019, and then pretty much everybody else
I
from like
think
2017. So
I remember I was just brought in a server by Crafty, and then I was like a gold, and you guys were probably like, what were you? You guys might have been like diamond, maybe champ.
I was like the best one at the time, bro.
But yeah, I guess that was your peak, so it must have been champ, right?
Yeah, dude. It was like before we
That
brought
was
Thode
like your
in.
peak.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Before I became the shadow.
yeah. And
So
then I just remember playing with like all three of you guys. Like you guys, I think Salty was there, probably Fade as well. And
it
then
was like when we all used to play, huh? When we all had the
yeah, that was like the OG when we had like a lot of people
yeah,
in
when we used to
like
have the
privates and
yeah,
stuff.
like the chaos privates, the 44 privates.
Yeah, like where we just had a lot of people in the server all the time.
Yeah, back when
And all of us were like low.
yeah, dude.
Um, but then what happened? Yeah, and then I just remember like me and you like we didn't really start becoming friends until like we would just 1v1. Like you just air dribble on me and I would just like defend it.
Yeah, dude. We were just messing
Um,
around.
that was pretty much it. And that just kind of took a while. I think like me and you like took a while to like warm up to each other or like just didn't really get each other for a while. I feel like Salty like vibe with you more and like Though and stuff. So it took a minute
Yeah, dude.
for us to like I don't know, understand one
Salty, and
another.
I are like the minorities of the friend group. Dude. We're the brown people. Everybody
I
else
guess.
is
Even though
everybody.
me and Salty are like Salty I like looks white and
Sorry about them all
then
storming in here. I didn't expect them to do that.
oh bro, we're doing a podcast.
Oh,
Welcome
dude,
Fade.
Oh,
interviewing the podcast. He did not accept my invitation to. Dude, what an unprofessional.
I don't remember looking at an invitation.
Gonna
Oh,
cut this out.
yeah, dude. Let me clap, bro.
Then do it in the private call. What the fuck you doing in here?
I gotta edit that
There's
part
better
out,
sound
dude.
quality in the server, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be a
Actually it
random
probably
cut.
does, like for real. Um
Now I lost track of my
yeah.
questions. Dude. I'm just kidding.
That's how I probably met you. And then you said me and Salty were the brown people to the server. But Salty's like hella white. I can like I become whatever people want to see. Like if people want to see a white person, I'm white. If they want to see Asian, I'm Asian. If they want to see like Nepalese, I'm Nepalese. Like I get like Spanish in Europe. Like just depends who's looking at me.
Napolese, like from Napoli, from Italy.
No, from like Nepal.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually blend really well into Nepal. I look like a straight Nepalese. Like
Nepal,
I
bro,
think I blend super well in Nepal.
like Senyatta.
Hmm? Who's that?
It's a Overwatch character from Nepal.
Oh yeah. Is she from Nepal?
No, it's a he. Well, it's not a
Oh.
person. It's like a robot that like meditates,
Oh,
bro.
okay. Oh, that's like the floating robot with like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Buddha
yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
transcendency.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'd say that's how we met.
Yeah, dude. How would you
That's pretty
describe
much
like
it.
our relationship, dude?
I feel like our relationship is very like it's like you just asking life questions and
Yeah,
like
dude. That's
trying to get the lowdown on like what's coming up. And then we just kind of give you advice.
yeah, dude.
And
That's
I
exactly
think
what
I'm
is.
like kind of the counter perspective from Salty. Like I think Salty has a very specific type
Salty's
of advice that like works for him, and then I think I have like a different style of advice from him.
Salty's more like a get straight to the point kind of guy, dude.
Yeah.
Like no feelings,
Whereas
no nothing. It's like this is exactly what you need to do, dude, to become rich.
yeah, exactly. And it's more of like I feel like Salty's advice is a little more like a dad advice, right? Where like
Yeah, because
this is what you do,
that
right?
guy
And
has
that's
like
like
our age like squared, bro, compared to us.
yeah. Whereas like me, I'm like, here's my advice, but you could take it or leave it. It's like whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
And I try to like tailor my advice to the person so that it like fits with what the person wants to do anyways.
right.
Um,
That's
like I try to
exactly
give them advice that'll work for them.
That's exactly what I was gonna get into, dude. I'm like basically like the only like the guy that asked for like the most advice from you guys, cause like honestly, like aside from like Faith, though Lucas and like Steez, you guys are
Yes,
all
Lucas
like
Bird bites.
you guys are all like at least like 10 years older than us. You guys are all
Yeah,
adults
yeah, we are
already.
much older.
Yeah, it's not like there's in between. People are like 20, 22, 24. It just jumps
Yeah, that is
straight to
kind of
like
interesting.
it jumps straight to like you're like the youngest out of all of them,
Am
pretty
I?
much.
I
Yeah,
think
cause
so. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, you're what
And I'm
like
not even like young.
you're what
Yeah, it's
like
basically you're
27.
like early 20s, teens, or you're in your 30s or older, like Salty.
So the youngest one is like Steez because he's like 16, and then the
Yeah,
oldest one's like garbage and crap. I mean garbage and salty.
yeah. And I mean that's like also considering like Lucas was like in middle school or whatever, right, when he joined.
Yeah, dude. I was in high school still.
Yeah,
I've been graduated for like 2 years now. I remember
yeah,
I was like a sophomore when I met garbage. Maybe even a freshman.
yeah. It's weird. The landscape of like the internet has like changed so much. It's like, but it's cool though. It's cool that like you guys can find communities so much easier now than like it used to be.
Yeah, right.
Like it used to be just some like random ass dude on the internet. You're like, I've played like 10 games with this guy. Maybe I should invite him. And you're just like, nah. And you just don't do it.
Yeah, dude. High 5 days, bro. Oh god, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely know about those days. Okay, so do you want to talk about your career path? What you went to school for, since you have a
Uh,
degree?
to have a degree. I mean, I guess. Like what do you want to know specifically
No, you
about
don't
it?
have to
Like
get like super into
the
it.
whole story
No,
of the
unless
fat
you
short
want
and
me to
sweet?
introduce it that you're a teacher. Basically, I was just basically
Yeah.
gonna ask you like,
I mean, if that's your goal, then yeah, just say I'm like a second career teacher. I started as like a chemistry major, then I worked in the industry for like a year and a half, and then I quit my job, traveled for 2 years, came back, and then re-skilled to become a teacher, and like got a master's, and now I'm a teacher. And this is my second year teaching.
damn, bro, you did all that, bro. You barely like 27.
Yeah, I did a lot.
So,
And I had a lot of odd jobs in between that too, but yeah, it's like the gist.
so in the first episode of the podcast, which I basically do with my girl, basically we just talked about like the public education system, since we both work for a school
Mhm.
district, and so do you. So, what do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think needs to like be changed into a positive manner so that teachers can be paid justly? Because like you're saying, you have a master's, dude. So like you would expect somebody with
Yeah.
like that much level of education to at least be like properly paid for it.
Yeah, I think like teacher pay is like a thing. Um, and like a lot of teachers complain about it. I think like teachers that aren't science and without a master's are at a much greater disadvantage than I am. Like honestly, if I went to a different district, I'd get paid pretty well as like a science teacher. And I think like something that, teachers complain a lot, and we do a lot, like don't get me wrong. But like at the same time, like teachers don't work during the summer. So like,
Right.
I get paid right now at my district, which is like not the highest paying district. I actually don't get paid super well. But I get like 57 or 58, right? And that's in like one of the good states. So I'm in New Jersey. So New Jersey is one of the states where they just pay a little bit higher just because of the cost of living. Um,
57, dude. Sheesh.
yeah, I mean it's not a lot, but at the same time, I get paid 57 and I don't work like
Yeah, you get a
2 months out of the year, so that's like pretty good. Like if I worked two more months during the year, I'd probably be making like closer to 70, right? So the fact that like if I switch to another school with my like education now, like I could be making like 70 and only working like 10 months out of the year.
right.
So like I think some teachers like over exaggerate the underpay. I think the teachers should still get paid more because we like do a ton of overtime and there's like a lot of work. But I don't like. I think most teachers should be making at least 50 or more
Right, right, right.
in their districts because like lower than that is just kind of a slap in the face. Like I would like personally, I would never become a teacher and like get paid like 30 or 40. Like this is just like way too much work for that kind of money.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so that's what I would say. I think, but I do agree with the idea that like if you're willing to pay more money, as like a society, you're gonna get smarter people to become your teachers.
Right,
Because
because
like,
like
yeah,
I was
you can go
watching
ahead.
a podcast by Fresh and Fit where they had, you know who Sneeko is, right?
No, I have no idea.
Sneaker's from New York, so
Oh, okay.
they had Sneeko in there, and then they were asking a bunch of girls like, can they name 3 countries outside of the United States, right? And then
Mhm.
one of the girls said like Europe, right, and then London, right?
Yeah.
So and then they were asking them like what they do for a living, right? And one of them was a teacher, dude. So it's like, dude, like this kind of
Oof.
like the future of the country is like in these people's hands, you know. And then
Yeah.
going back to what you said about like the pay not being like as exaggerated as they make it. I watched a TikTok from like this teacher, right? That she said she has a master's and everything,
Uh-huh.
and she's netting. I think it is. What was it? I think it was like 2,500 a month with a child, right, here in California, which is pretty much nothing, dude. Cause
Yeah.
like the rent of my house alone is like 26,
Yeah.
2660, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah. I mean,
making
don't get me wrong. Some teachers get paid garbage. Like,
yeah,
that's just a fact. But yeah.
yeah, because I make more money, dude, and I'm a classified employee. I'm not a certified employee, or like
Yeah.
it's like nowhere comparable to like the masters that you have, especially like in a degree like science.
Yeah. I
You know,
mean, I don't know. Like I think like I have a different perspective in the sense that like, I went to school for chemistry, right? And then I worked a chemistry job. And chemists actually don't get paid that much. Chemists get paid like I was getting paid I think like 38 my first job.
yeah,
Um and like if I honestly just instead did economics or business, I'd probably be like my starting salary would be much higher than that. Probably like 60 at least, right?
yeah,
So it is kind of like surprising that like some of the degrees that you go for or like the skills that you go for are like highly specialized and require you to be like pretty smart but still like just aren't valued that much. Like business degrees are just always valued more, like programming and stuff. Like there are programmers who get paid like 6 figures just to program a button.
right.
So it's you just kind of have to like hustle or do whatever you want to do. Um, but I think also like to do those jobs, they're soul sucking. So
Yeah,
you're trading your soul for that kind of money. So um, it's like an individual choice at that point.
yeah. Now that you mentioned like the business or economics degree, I remember when I asked you like, what was it, like 2 3 days ago, that you were telling
Mhm.
me like the career choice. So I wanted to ask you if you would go to college again, and if you what would you do differently,
I think if it were me,
or if you would go to college at all again.
I don't know how. I think I would do it a little differently. I think for me, I think college would be better structured if you were able to try the jobs that you're going for before you go for the degree. Like if I got to try being like a chemist for like, like a year before going for it, I would have just been like, oh, this is really monotonous and I don't want to do this. Um, So I think that would have changed it. But I think overall, like, I kind of just ended up in my degree because I was good at it and not necessarily because like I felt super passionately about it. I was just like, okay, this is this thing that I'm good at that most people aren't good at. And I guess I'll go for this because it seems widely applicable, which it is. Like the chemistry degree like holds a lot of weight wherever you go. Like people see that on your resume and they're like, oh wow, like you can think, right?
Yeah, this guy's a chemist.
Um, yeah, it's like people just respect that because they're scared of chemistry and like chemistry's hard. So even if I switched to like a business job and they saw that I had a chemistry degree, they'd be like, "Oh shit, like this guy has a brain."
Right.
Um,
Count. This
so
guy
I
can.
think like, oh, go ahead.
Nah, nah. I was just gonna make a bad joke, dude.
So I think like, that has some value, right? But I think if I did it again, I would take a year off and I would like work odd jobs or like, go to other countries and just be like a worker in other countries. Like had I known I could just do like working holidays and stuff, I would just go to Australia, fuck around for a few months, work odd jobs, like go to New Zealand, fuck around, like, go to Canada and fuck around for a couple of years, just like doing whatever jobs to give you the time and space to think about what you really want to do and what you really like value in a job. And then I would go to college because then like I wouldn't have wasted my money. Because for me, like by the time I realized I didn't like chemistry, I was like stuck 3 years in, and like, what are you gonna do? Like switch your degree in your junior year? Like
Yeah,
it's just like you just gotta finish. Um, so I think if I knew that, like I would have gone that route and just like explored a little more before committing to a thing. Or I would also like consider the trades. Like I definitely would have heavily considered like being an electrician or a mechanic. I think that's something that I actually would have enjoyed a
yeah,
lot. Um, but yeah, so so I guess that's my answer if you're looking to go to college. And then if you do go to college, save as much money as possible.
right.
Like go where you get a scholarship, go where it's cheap. Some people even like go to community college for like the first 2 years to save money, and then go for like the fancy classes they'll take at like the actual college they want to go to, which is like honestly a really good strategy for saving money. Um, but yeah, I still think college is valuable though. Like I think it's a time that you get where you get to explore and kind of figure out what you want to do and like kind of dabble with being an adult, but also not being a full adult. So it gives you a lot of freedom and space to like think about things and learn things and be exposed to different people. So that's why like I highly like recommend and support liberal arts degrees because I think it's good to do shit other than the thing that you want to do just to like make you more well-rounded
Right.
as like just a human being. But but yeah, that's really like long-winded, but
No, no, no.
that's what I would do.
Nah, it totally makes sense. Especially like what you told me like the other day that you would probably consider more of a trade now. And then like I already knew that you were pretty like well educated with
Mhm.
with when you went to school and stuff. But so basically, another thing I was talking to my girl about like last time we did the podcast was about like what she gets to see like what goes on like inside like the
Mhm.
classrooms and stuff, and I get to see what goes out like outside, right? Like
Mhm.
when there's kids outside. Do you think as a teacher, you personally, and do you think you can kind of like tell what a student is going through, or do you think like they really need to open up to you for you to like realize like, okay, maybe this person needs help like personally rather than like academically? Because yet
I think
again,
oh, go ahead, keep going.
no, because like sometimes like maybe they don't have somebody to talk to, and like I know you're very young, and I know you're a very cool teacher because I remember even the teachers that were like a bit older, some of them were really cool. Like I was really blessed with like very nice teachers. So it was always
Mhm.
like nice to like talk to them. I never really like, thankfully, like I never went through like a period in my life where I needed to open up to somebody. I feel like I've been very blessed, but some people's life might be like a bit less fortunate and they need to speak to somebody. Do you think you have that in you that you can like kind of like realize if somebody is going through something, or is that just something that you really can't tell as a person, as a human being, basically?
I think it heavily depends on like the teacher, right? Some teachers are good at that and some of them aren't. I think like I'm on the more empathetic end, and I think like as a teacher, like that's why I got into teaching. Like I don't really care too much about teaching my subject. I just care about like, spending time with people and like influencing people and just figuring out what they want to do and like helping them reach goals.
Right.
Um, so I think like for me at least, I can tell when a kid's having a bad day because you just see them every day and like you see their facial expressions. Like in a weird way, like you actually see the kids more than some of their parents because you see them all like an hour or more each day and like you actually like spend time with them and like talk to them and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think like for me I can usually tell when a kid's off or having an off day or something happened. But I don't pry because it just depends on the kid. Like you start to like understand there's like different types of kids, right? And like some kids just need to have space or like go for a walk, and like other kids like just kind of like ignore it or hide it. So it's always like tricky. Um, and some kids are even just surprising, right? Like there are plenty of people who seem really happy and outgoing on the outside, but like are like suicidal on the inside, like you have no idea what's going
Yeah.
on in their
Right.
heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so because like we had a couple kids at our high school who like committed suicide and everyone was like, holy shit, like no one saw that one coming. Um, so that type of stuff like does exist. But I think the schools are like trying to take mental health more seriously. Like our school does like these things called seven mindsets where like we just talk to the kids for a little bit about like life things like passion first or whatever, and they show these like really corny like inspirational videos. Um, but the problem with that is like, you're working with a group of kids who like aren't friends. So like none of them are, and like you're also just dealing with high school kids. High school kids don't like opening up. Like
Yeah.
it's just not their thing. Like they haven't really learned to communicate as well as like a college kid or like an adult, right? Like
Right.
they're still in like the baby stages of learning how to like express their feelings and emotions. So like and like high school is super, super judgmental. So to expect like kids to open up about their feelings in front of other kids is just like that's never gonna happen. Um, but I have had moments like where kids have like opened up to me and like talked about things. Like just like the last week, I think I had this kid named Eric where like he kind of it's basically like so the situation is there's like a bunch of these guys who are kind of like gamer nerds in the back or in the back room. They like kind of get their work done, but they're like a bit of a procrastinators, right?
Right.
But they all shit on this one kid, Eric. Like for some reason, like Eric is friends with one of them, and the other one is just kind of like a douchebag to him.
Right.
And his friend like kind of throws him under the bus to like seem cooler with like the douchebag kid. Um, Even though like when he says like when he goes home, like his friend is like totally fine when that other kid isn't there. So it's like he doesn't understand. And like he was basically just like, I don't get why like people are just assholes for like no reason. He's like, I'm not taunting him, I'm not doing anything, like I'm not like particularly weird. And he's not. Like he's a very well adjusted kid. Um but he's just one of those people that like, get thrown under the bus so that like other people can seem cool. And I'm just like, dude, that's just high school and like life. Like people are gonna try to shit on you to like seem cooler. Um, and that's like, and it's tough too, right? Like, because he's not like in the point where he's like really getting bullied because he can defend himself and like he's
Right.
not like emotionally distraught by that. It's just like he's annoyed, right? He's like, it's annoying that this kid like is always coming at me.
Yeah.
Um, but like, like me and him talked for a long time after school about it, and like I was telling him how like those kinds of people, like the people who kind of get shit on, like by the whole group, like those guys are actually like the glue of the group. Like I
Yeah.
had a couple of nerds last year that were like that. They all like made fun of and teased this one kid, right? And this one kid just kind of took it. He was like pretty chill about it. But I told him at the end of the year, I'm like, you're the glue. Like none of those guys would be friends if it wasn't for you and like them all shitting on you. Because he's like the one thing that's like bringing them all together. Kind of like Crafty, right? Like we all shit on Crafty, but without Crafty, like none of us would be friends.
Oh, as a matter of fact, it was garbage, bro. Come on, bro. Did you fact straight, bro?
Yeah, or garbage. Um,
Yeah, dude.
but yeah, like those types of people exist. So like sometimes kids will open up to you, but it just depends on them and like if you're the type of teacher that they open up to. Like I think everyone's kind of got um, a teacher that they prefer, and that's gonna like come out depending on who you vibe with.
Yeah. So going back to like it being like very judgmental. I remember in school, and even right now, right? Like I'm a very judgmental people of other people. So I remember in school, like seeing somebody that's kind of weird, or like somebody with a haircut, and you're like, bro, that's a stupid ass haircut, right? Or like somebody with like
Mhm.
shades and stuff. You're like, what is that person doing, dude? And now that I work for a school district, and I'm not saying that I'm a very mature person or anything. Like I'm only 19, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'm not even like there at all, right? But like I be seeing kids, right? And I'm like, I look at them and I see them like when I was their age, I would have definitely think this guy is like weird or this little girl's like weird, right? Like I would
Mhm.
not get within like a mile radius of these people, right? Because like they're weird. And now I look at them, dude. I'm like, dude, that's a fucking kid, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
he's just happy, bro. I seen a girl the other day, like at a I work at a what is it, a K through 5. So
Uh-huh.
so this girl can't be more than like 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
And I seen her with a little lunchbox and her haircut and like her like shades. You know those shades that are like that you have like the sport kind of shades that have those like that string behind your eyes and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I was a kid, I would have been like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, why is she not wearing like Jordans and shit, bro? You know what I'm saying?"
Mhm. Yeah.
And then I seen her, I was like, "Dude, this is a kid, bro. She's fucking smiling, bro. She's running to her next class because she's excited, dude." And it just brought like joy to me, you know, like
Yeah.
Like she's happy, bro. And then today I was on my way back to the yard and I seen a kid, right, with like a haircut that I would have been like, hell no, bro. Like what the fuck is he wearing, right? I would have roasted him for it, right?
Hmm.
And he, again, like his shades and everything, his little lunchbox, his his heavy ass backpack, you know, from his books.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be the kid with only like a notebook and a pen, right? So, and then again, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? We're like that's a happy kid, you know, like that kid's going home. He's playing video games with his friends. He's doing his
Yeah.
homework. He might go outside and ride his bike. You know what I'm saying? Those are kids. Like they're extremely
Yeah.
happy, and then when you're a kid, you don't realize that like they're just
Yeah.
happy and they're like they don't really care, right? They don't care, and then like maybe in high school they kind of changed and everything, but like when they're kids, like dude, like it really brought me a lot of joy, like seeing these kids, you know. I was like,
Hmm.
what the fuck, am I turning gay or something, bro? Like why am I so excited of seeing these kids, right? Like be happy, right? But I guess
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to like when you're a kid, you're an asshole, dude. So like you never really like pay attention to those kind of things. You don't really enjoy it, dude.
Yeah. You don't know how good you got it.
Exactly, dude.
And they're just like, they'll sit there, they'll watch a shitty TV show for like 10 seasons just because they got the time of day to do that.
Right.
When you're an adult, you're like, man, I can't fucking waste my time with like a shitty show. I can watch like 2 episodes, then I gotta go to bed. Like, they just have so much freedom.
Yeah, dude, but that's the little kids, bro. I still go to the high schools and shit. I'm like, yeah, these people are fucking weird, bro. Like,
You'll
people,
feel the same way when like, if you ever end up like working in a high school and you're a little bit older, like, you'll see the exact same thing as you're seeing with like the elementary kids. Like I used to think that. I used to be like kind of nervous. Like I used to really want to go for middle school because like I was like, oh, high school kids are like too adult for me. And then you get in there and you're like, bro, these guys are all kids. Like they're just like they still think like, oh, I can drink alcohol. And I'm like, you're so cool. Like no one gives a shit. Like
I know, dude. Like,
like it's just super funny. And they're just like, they're all trying to be tough and shit. And like, they go home to like a loving family and have a meal with them and shit. Like like none of my kids are hard. Like they're all trying to be like ghetto and shit. And I'm just like, you guys are so fake. I'm like
bro,
trying to act tough and like, oh, I listen to rap. I'm like, dude, you're a white kid from the suburbs. Like, calm down.
yeah,
Like,
the struggle, dude. Like Jake Paul, dude.
yeah, it's just funny. But I think that's like one of the nice things about like working in a school district or like education in general is like you get to feel that, right? Whereas like if you work a job, like you'll never have the kind of interactions you have with kids that you do at like a corporate office, right? Like in with kids you can joke around, you can shoot the shit and like you could actually be who you are, right? Whereas like in an office you kind of have to like keep up appearances and like, not let your guard down and stuff. Like for example, like one kid, like I don't really like this kid, he's kind of annoying, but like I appreciate his trolliness, right? Like
Whoa, whoa,
what?
whoa. I'm gonna send it to him, bro.
Oh, okay, yeah, go for it.
I bet.
Anyways, like he's like, "Oh, yo, Mr. G, what's your favorite song?" And I'm like, "Oh, this song." And then he just starts bumping it on his phone, and then he's just jamming out. And then like him and his friends are like jamming out and like starting to dance and shit. And like, because it's a banger song, like they're having a great time. And they're like, "Actually, that was a good song."
Right,
Um, but that's like, that shit would never happen in an office. Like, no, in an office, like no one's gonna be like, "Oh, what's your favorite song?" They'll just be like, "Oh, cool," and then like, go about their day. Like you don't get like this like kind of random shit that goes on in school that just like makes your day.
right.
So
Have you ever tried? Have you ever not tried? Have you ever had to break up a fight?
yeah.
Well, dude, like the thing is,
uh
like that's high school, dude. Those are actually like those guys are like 2 years away from being adults, right? So
bro, I could like beat up. I feel like personally I could beat up most of the kids at my school. Like the thing is like these kids like think they're hard. Like sure body wise maybe they're like pretty fit, but like I don't think they'd actually be good in a fight.
right. No, dude, because like sometimes I'd be like outside, right? And
Hmm.
I'd be hanging out with my cousin when he's in lunch and everything. And then you
Yeah.
just see these like fresh Mexicans, right? Like the ones that just came and shit, like they think they're still over there and shit.
Yeah.
And they're speaking Spanish to each other, and one of them gets like folded on a bleacher, right? And then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, like I really don't care. Like I would have watched the fight, but I know that if I'm here, I have to break it
Get
up, right?
trouble.
Because I'm like 5 feet away from it, right? Not
Yeah.
even like I'm like right there next to them, right? So they're like about to fight, right? So I just straight up tell them, bro, like straight up, bro, like if you're gonna go fight somebody else, somewhere else, bro. I don't want to break it up, bro. Like straight up, bro.
Yeah, that's what I tell them. Actually, I'm like, go fight after school. Like, don't fight now.
Yeah, dude.
Or I tell them like, usually I kind of troll like the weaker kid who's getting like beat up. I'm like, stop being weak, fight back. And then they just like get really kind of like scared. They're like, wait, did a teacher just tell us to fight back? And like, but it's true. Like that's why you get bullied is because you're weak and like you're letting people push you around. Like like the only thing kids in high school respect is like strength, right? Like you can't like if you get adults involved, then like they're like, oh, you got the adults involved. You'll get bullied worse, dude, if you get like a teacher involved or the admin involved.
Right.
Like the kid's just gonna bully you after school and harass you, and you're gonna be like a social outcast and shit. So it's like actually kind of worse when adults step in. Like adults should step in if it's getting like dangerous, but most of the time, I feel like if you're the kid getting like ragged on, you just gotta throw a punch and then it's like over. You know, they'll stop. They'll leave you alone
Yeah, but like
because then you're not easy prey anymore.
at the end of the day, to these guys, I'm not an adult, dude. I'm only 19, so
Yeah.
I can probably fit in with them, dude, if I shave.
Yeah, I
If I
think the
got
kids see me as much younger. So I don't know if I have the same problem. I look really young,
Well,
but
yeah, that's because you're Asian, dude.
yeah.
So you definitely look younger.
But
No,
yeah, I think it'd be different though if I went to if I was a teacher in a school like you. I think breaking up fights would be very different. I think I would still break up the fights, but
oh no, definitely, dude. Like I used to get bullied in school, and I look
yeah,
back at it, I'm like, bro, there's no way I was getting bullied by these people, right? Like I know how to box, dude. Like I've always known how to box, but like there was a period in my life where I just became a little bitch, dude. From like probably from like sixth grade until I graduated, dude.
yeah,
And like sixth grade before that, and then like till like after high school, I've always been the guy that like you want to fight, bro. Like we'll go at it, right? Like it doesn't matter. But like between those like that stage of my life, I was like really scared, right, for some reason. And I
yeah.
just look back at it, I'm like, there's no way this guy actually like,
Intimidated you.
yeah, dude. Like if he wants to say something now, like go ahead, dude. Like try it,
Yeah,
dude. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
but yet again, dude, like I'm kind of more like cautious now of what I say around the street because remember what happened to me at the Walmart, dude. That the guy pulled the knife on me. So now when I go like around my business at night, now I'm like shit, bro. I have to get to my car like quick, dude. Like
Yeah.
you never know like what's gonna happen or anything.
Yeah, I think it's funny because like as you get older too, you're like why are you even fighting? Like who gives a shit? Like here's your wallet.
Right,
Like
yeah,
okay, look, grab my credit cards, which I'll just cancel. Like have fun, right?
right.
It's just like it's so not worth getting stabbed over. Um, it was funny. I had like a kid who was he wasn't like really fighting. Him and this his friend like their dynamic is like he tries to act tough and like they kind of play fight.
Uh huh.
But anyways, he had this kid on the table and like it was like a playful thing. It wasn't like actually dangerous. And then he was like, I was like, dude, lay off Zane. Like, stop beating him up. And then Nikki's just like, oh, like Zane called said something mean about Steph. And like all the girls are like surrounded, like watching him have this kid on the table. And then I was like, all right, Nikki, like slow down. Let me teach you a life lesson, which will save you a lot of time in high school. And I was like, girls are not impressed by you beating up other guys. The only one you're impressing are other guys. Girls don't care. And then all the girls were like, mm-hmm, yep, exactly. Mr. G gets it. And like the kid on the table is like, oh my God, Mr. G has so much Riz. It's just like, and the kid like backed off, right? And like,
Yeah.
and it was just funny because they're like, wow, like, how does he know?
Dude,
It's just like,
that's funny, dude. Like your last name actually, you can call the G, dude. That's funny.
yeah, they call me like G Man or Mr. G or, yeah, so it's fun. But But yeah, it's just like I think as you get older, like, and you can kind of read their situations, like you can call them out and shit, and it's like hella funny. Like I remember one time these girls were like being mean to this kid, or they were like all really catty and like not normal. Usually like these girls are like really like friendly and like warm, and they're just like really pissed off for some reason that day,
Right.
and they were like kind of looking at this kid Edmund, right? And I was like, why are you guys pissed at Edmund? Did he just like not come to your pool party or something like that? And they just got real quiet because I just like fucking nailed it, and like he didn't come to the pool party,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yo, I'm so good."
No, dude. And like yeah, like high school fights are just like really stupid, dude. Like
Yeah.
one of my best friends, dude. In middle school, we became friends after we pretty much like we didn't fight, but we were about to fight. And then like in sophomore year, dude. No, junior year. I remember when we were in chemistry class, dude. We just got mad over something out of nowhere, dude. It was
Mhm.
like, take it outside, bro. Take it outside, dude. And then we realized what we were doing, man. We just started laughing at each other, right? It's like, what the fuck? What are we doing, bro? Like we're about to
Yeah.
fight over like nothing, dude. And we just sat down, we knocked it up, dude. That was it.
Yeah, this is so funny. Like in high school, you're just so ready to throw down for like nothing. Like it's just like really nothing. But
And
that's
then
all
like,
clout,
but then like
you know.
fighting in high school is like dangerous, dude. Like bathroom fights, dude. Imagine getting dropped like on the sink, dude. Fucking
Oh
ceramic shit,
yeah.
bro. Fuck, you're gonna crack your skull and shit.
Yeah, we used to have this kid. He was like when I was in high school, this kid named Marwan. Like really nice kid, right? But he was like black, but he kind of acted white, right? And he was Muslim, so like a lot of kids like were hating on him because these are like 9/11 days. So they thought like he was like just bigotry, right? Like they thought all Muslims were bad and shit. And
Oh, okay,
he
okay.
was the type of kid who's like quite religious, so he would like pray, like during the day.
Right.
And it was fucked up. So like a lot of kids like beat on him because he was like a nerd, he was black, and like he was a Muslim, just like a bad combination of things. But it's funny because he was built and he was like a black belt in karate. So like a bunch of people would like go to try to beat him up and he would just like smash heads in the bathroom. Like three guys would come in after him and he would just like destroy all of them and just come out of like the bathroom covered in blood and just like, all right, on with my day now. Like
Right.
it's like fucking savage.
No, yeah, dude.
But
Dude, have you ever like, dude? Special ed people are like super strong, dude. Like super, super
oh, are
strong.
they?
Yeah, dude. I remember culinary class. The the teacher, dude. His name is Mr. Not Mr. He's a chef, so Chef Tom, right?
Hmm.
And he has like autism, right? So
Hmm.
his like helpers, dude. They're all like special ed kids, right? So, cause he wants to make a point that like being special ed does like it shouldn't slow you down from anything. Cause this guy's like pretty successful chef, right? So
Hmm.
everybody in culinary too, bro, is like special ed. It's like the requirement to get in, right? So everybody's like special ed, dude. We used to like arm wrestle these kids, bro. We used to give them handshakes, bro. These motherfuckers would crack our bones, bro. These motherfuckers were strong, bro. And like the thing is, like some people see like special ed kids, like it's like weird, right? Like because like of their
Yeah.
shit. Dude, these motherfuckers were fucking funny as shit, bro. They used to get into fucking drama inside the classroom, bro. Shit, bro.
Yeah.
They used to like they used to fucking like throw shade to each other, dude. It was hella funny, dude. And some of them were just like really, really cool, dude. Like actually like normal people, dude. Not that they're
Oh
not,
yeah.
but like they're really cool, dude.
Yeah, there's this one kid at our school, just like the nicest kid. He's just like, "How's your day? Like, are you having a good day?" And he'll just like give you a high five. He's just like such a positive force in the whole school. It's gonna be really sad when he leaves because he's just like he's just one of those kids who's just always happy and just like makes your day. You're just
Right,
like, man. And he like asks you about your day and like genuinely cares about what's going on with your day.
right.
Like, I think that's so cool.
No, dude, yeah, like there used to be this kid. His name is Raheem, right? And the
Hmm.
way we used to like talk to him, dude, like if we saw him, we'd be like Raheem, right?
Hmm.
Like just like scream at him, and he never got our names right, right? He knew all of our names, just like mixed up, right? So he
Yeah.
used to call us like different people, right? So he used to call
Hmm.
me like my friend's name, and he used to call my name to another guy, dude, and we would just go all along with it, dude.
Yeah.
But this guy was just really chill, dude. And then like it's like dang, dude, these people are like really smart. Some of them are really smart too. Like
Oh
since
yeah.
since they were in
That's so
culinary,
considered.
since they were in culinary too, dude, these motherfuckers actually knew how to cook, bro. Like these motherfuckers will teach us how to cook, bro. And like real ass meals, bro. Like they'll teach us how to make bread, like like
Oh, that's
steakhouse
cool.
quality bread, bro. Like
Yeah.
that, yeah, dude. And like it's like sheesh, dude.
So I guess like I have a curious question. So like from your perspective, do you think like school was useful to you? Do you think it failed you in some senses? Like what was your take on high school? Because you're pretty fresh out of high school. So like how would you like encapsulate that experience for yourself?
Actually,
Like,
I asked the questions on this show, bro. So like,
oh, okay, all right.
all right. Okay, so I think that dude, like I remember telling like Salty, dude, in like while I was in school, right? I was like, dude, I need to go to community college because I need to figure this out, and I need to become like an engineer or something. Or he was like, this was like back when like Salty was like barely starting to get to know me, right? And Salty has always done well for himself, right? As of recently, he's doing really good. So like, thank God, right, that he's doing really well. He deserves it. But he's always like done well, right? So this guy's like, I remember he used to like kind of guide me into it. He was always supportive, right? But then he was like, you don't need college, bro. Like, don't be stupid, right? And then when I finally told him, right, I was like, yeah, this school shit is bullshit, right? He's like, yeah, I know, bro, but you were so fucking stubborn that you wanted to go to college, bro. So all that was left to do was like support you on it, right? So then we started, and then that's when me and him started working on like my plans and everything, right? We set like goals and everything, and like how I was gonna do stuff. So, but high school, dude, like, I don't know, dude. I really enjoyed high school. I never had a girl in school, right? Because I never really needed a girl, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you just had fun.
yeah, I just came home, played my Minecraft Survival World, dude. Played my Rocket League, played my Fortnite, dude. And then in school, I was always like with girls, right? But just as friends. Dude.
Yeah.
So there was like no compromises, no nothing. We were just chill, right? All of my friends and I. So, but then in the academic portion of it, I felt Spanish twice, dude, because you know I hate Mexicans and everything.
Wait, what the fuck?
I would never be Mexican, dude. So I felt Spanish, and not even like AP Spanish, but no, like Spanish too, bro. I felt it twice, dude. And
Like, right?
no, dude, this guy was super sexist, bro. Like if you're a guy, dude, you just had it bad in the class, right? You actually had to try, dude. So. But I'm not gonna say like I ever did anything. I never did anything, cause my ideology, bro, was I know Spanish, right? Like I'm not stupid. If this guy gives like a quiz every week, a few tests here and there, I can pass with like a C, right? Bro, this man gave like 2 tests on the whole semester, right? So obviously I didn't pass, bro. So eventually it gets to like junior year, and then I take his class, and then I pass the class. Because we did the projects and everything, so we did like this movie, dude, in Spanish. Like all my friends and I, we did this movie, dude. It was like super well produced. It was about like these boxers. I remember we all used to go to the gym together, so we all kind of like trained in the gym, and we made like a little montage and everything. That was Spanish. For math, dude, I did super well in math, dude. Like I think I'm just given in math, like. I'm just good at math.
Clicks.
Yeah, like, except for calculus, dude. I did not pass calculus.
Calculus sucks.
Because calculus is a class that you actually have to pay attention to, dude.
Yeah.
So I never paid attention, so I never passed it. But it was always like, if they asked me something, I always knew kind of what was going on, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is this, right? So I answered and like, correct. I was like, of course, bro. But then when it came to like actually doing the whole problem, like, yeah, I have no idea what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So. And then, like, I really enjoyed science, dude. Like, I really enjoyed chemistry, dude. My girl wanted to take a class with me, right? So my girl has, like, 4 classes, right? And I always tell her, like, dude, those classes are nothing, right? Like, I'll do the work immediately, right? So she wanted to take a class with me next semester, right? And I got hella cocky, right? I was like, start naming them, bro. And then she named chemistry, right? I was like, it's super easy, dude. I got Skerp, dude, and then I already know what to do anyways, dude. So it's an easy A, right? And I got super cocky, so she just canceled it, right? Cause she's like, I'm not about to waste my time on it, right? I was like, if anything, I'm wasting my time, bro. I have to pay like out of state tuition, dude, because I'm not even registered on the college or anything. So we didn't take it, dude. But science, dude, science was like, even since like 7th grade, dude, I remember all my science teachers were great. And I'm gonna ask you this later, but like nobody ever gave homework, dude. But that's just like, I really like that, dude, because like everything was like, just pay attention in the class, just get the material, do one of the tests, no homework, right? And those were the classes that I aced, dude. Like all those classes I always aced. English, I hated English because like it has to be a really good teacher, dude, in order for you to
Yeah.
do great, dude, in English. Because other than that, it's basically you do everything, dude. You do the
Yeah.
reading. I hate reading, dude. The only way I can understand a book if somebody's reading it to me and I'm following along. But if I'm reading a book, dude, I cannot picture the scenario, nothing, dude.
Yeah.
And I hate popcorn reading, dude. Cause you
What's
never
popcorn reading? Is that like
popcorn.
when everyone takes turns?
Yeah, dude. Like a
Oh,
random,
wow.
dude. I hate that.
Yeah.
Dude. So English I only passed my sophomore year
Mhm.
in high school. Everything else was Edgenuity. You know what Edgenuity is?
No idea.
It's like recovering credits, dude, basically. You retake the
Oh, okay.
class, but all the answers are online, right? So
Okay.
you just pass the class in like 2 days, right? You can
Yeah.
literally pass the class in one day. The only problem is like every
It just
time you
looks
get
weird.
to a test, you have to ask for like supervision. Somebody unlock it, right?
Mhm.
So it takes like a week, 2 weeks to finish it. History, I love history, dude. As a subject, I love history. All
We
my
don't like
history.
reading.
Yes, dude, but like when you're just blessed, dude, that life puts in your way amazing teachers. You don't need to do anything but listen, dude, and you would understand everything.
It's true.
So like my teachers were great, dude. Like explaining like world history, U.S. history, dude. Everything was so great. And like these are teachers that like most people like hate, dude. I'm like, what, dude? Like, just pay attention, dude. Like all you have to do is like listen, dude. Like, obviously I didn't have like a cool relationship with them, dude. I just listened, dude.
Yeah, you just like respected them.
Yeah, like just pay attention. This
Yeah.
person's getting like paid nothing, dude. Because who the fuck like, gets a major in history? And and this guy like made you a PowerPoint, bro, so easy to understand. And like the teacher, you know which teachers I love, bro? The teachers that
Mm.
had their fucking long ass PowerPoint with like 1, 2 images and like 7 bullet points, but they were like, just write this one down and just pay attention. Like put this on your notes. That's all you need. And you wrote that on your notes, and then they were like, that's all that's gonna be on the test, right? But just pay attention,
Mhm.
right? And they were like, just write like 5 words down out of like 100, and you will
Yeah.
understand it. And like you're like, and then and like definitely click. The same thing with my calculus teacher, dude. If I could go back
Mhm.
to high school and like take that class, I would do it, dude. Because he would have like the equation and everything, and like everything explained. He's like, just write these 2 words and write the equation, and then you would get it, right?
Mhm.
So that's like the kind of like teaching style that I liked. Just like they explained to you what was going on, and you just paid attention, did well on the test.
Sounds like you'd like college.
No, because like the thing is,
It's just lecture.
I don't like doing work outside of school.
That's fair.
So like coming home, sitting down. Oh, let me do like 20 questions, bro. In the computer that can very well be playing fucking Rocket League on. Nah, dude, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So do
But do you think it? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I guess you're getting to it. Yeah.
So do I think it helped me, dude? I
Mhm.
mean, I mean, yeah, no, like I'm not fucking illiterate. I know how to read. I know how to write. I know how to do basic math. If I ever need to become an accountant,
Yeah.
I have that down. Would I go to college, dude? No, dude. No, dude.
That's fair.
I see my girl, dude, and like all of the things that she does, bro. Like I need to go to this meeting, and like I make fucking $20 an hour, but I only work like 20 hours because like this is the only way that I can fit it in. And it's like, dude, what? Like I tell her, like, dude, like you're doing so much. Like I told her, dude, like straight up, like, because like I always sit down with my girl, right? Because I like to think of my relationship with her as a team, because
Mhm.
me and my parents are a team, right?
Yeah.
So I always sit down with her and I'm like, look, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. And I kind of let her like get to things on her own, because if I tell her this is useless, then she's going to be like, you don't know what you're talking about, right? So we got
Mhm.
to the conclusion that one of the things that she was doing is useless. But like, again, like it helps in the resume and everything, right? But it's like you're spending like 4 or 5 hours a week on helping the community, and it does no fucking change, right? Because what the fuck are 20 people going to do? And the community is like 150,000 people, nothing, right? You might
Yeah.
save like one person, that's it. And that one person's not going to do anything about it, right?
Mhm.
So it's like you're spending so much time, dude, Like you can spend 4 years in college and like you 2 years in a master's, and those 6 years if you're really disciplined and you get to it, you can become rich, bro. And like at the end
Yeah.
of the day, that's all that matters, dude. Money is the only thing that matters, dude. Happiness comes with money, dude. Like you retire your parents, you give your kid maybe the childhood that you couldn't get, like the toys and everything. And that's basically all that a man needs, you know?
Mm.
And a woman, like again, like a woman can be like an empowered woman and everything, but like again, we come from like brown families, so like the woman's always at home. Here's a cooked meal. Here's the house is clean. This is everything, and as long as you're like woman's happy, dude. Like I feel like a man can have a very happy life, being successful. The woman's happy, the kid's happy. So I feel like college is a waste of time, dude. Like honestly, would I go to college if it wasn't like? I mean, if it was free, I would probably go to college.
Hmm.
Or if college was like high school, yeah, I would go, dude. I love studying, dude. I just don't like doing homework, dude. That's the only thing I don't like. So it would be a waste of money and time.
Yeah.
But would I go to college? Sure, I would go to college. Like a math major or like a I would get a chemistry major, like low cap, no cap. I love
Good luck.
chemistry, dude. Like
Good luck.
I love chemistry, dude. I know that the chemistry I took is nothing compared to the chemistry that you can like do, right?
No,
The
I'm just saying you
basics,
got to study. If you're gonna take chemistry, you're definitely gonna have to study at some point.
no, right? But like, I feel
That's
like I
different.
feel like school does help, dude. Even if people say that it doesn't fucking help. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody within K through 12 taught you how to read. Somebody taught you how to do math. Somebody taught you how to like, and not only that, dude. Like, maybe the A3G requirements don't help you, but there's a teacher that sat you down and told you this is how taxes need to be filed, right? This is what you need to do,
Yeah.
right? This is what we don't teach you, but like, here's a piece of advice, right? Like, this is what
Yeah.
you should do, or this is how you be happy, and like, again, I feel like it's a good experience to have, dude. Like school. I
Yeah.
really like going to school. Like my girl, like I don't know, like she makes fun of me and shit for like never having a girl and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like I don't care, bro. I was coming home, bro. I was becoming a great freestyler in a game that I fucking love, bro. I made all my friends through there. I had a fucking
Yeah.
survival world that the people that fucking cared, bro, thought it was mainly creative, bro. So like I was winning in the things that I wanted to do, you know. I
Yeah.
was playing Fortnite. I was doing this. I was doing that. Like I didn't need it. Like shit, bro. Now I back you, bro. And like the fuck, bro. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, bro.
Mm.
Now it's another step in my life, and I always tell her like I was like school's not worth it to me, dude. Like, I'm like if that's what you want to do, that's why I got her the iPad. That's why I got her everything, right? So it's like if you
Hmm.
truly believe in like you can make this happen, then I'll support you, right? Like go ahead and like become whatever you want to become, right? Just put the time into it, and like that's what Salty always tells me, right? Like it's not that school is not useful. It's just that like you just need a very specific like major to major
Yeah.
in, right?
School without direction is not very useful. School with, or at least college. College without direction is not very useful, but college with direction is can be very powerful.
Yeah, that's what Salty used to tell me. Like you're not gonna become no fucking doctor, but you're not gonna become no fucking dentist. But why are you going to school for it?
Yeah. And he has a point. I think if you're not gonna, because the college is very much so what you put in is what you get out, right?
Right,
And I think that's true of like any education, right? Like, I have kids, right, who are just trying to like pass the class, and like I get that. Like, you're not gonna become a scientist, so like you just gotta like do what you gotta do to pass. But then you get a couple kids who are like actually trying to see what you're saying and like what you're trying to teach them, and they're like, oh shit, that's cool. But the only kids that realize that are the kids who like really take the time to like consider the bullshit thing I'm doing, making them do, right?
right.
Like for example, I have this like project which is kind of dumb and I'm thinking of getting rid of it. But like I realized this during COVID where like, you're just stuck in one place like for 2 years, right? And like if you walk and I have like a little forest like by me and I would run by it like every week. And if you like actually take the time to like look at what's happening and what's changing and stuff, like there's so much shit going on. Like it's so weird to think of the world as like just seasons, but when you start seeing like, like animals with their summer houses and shit and like, animals playing in the snow and like all these really small details that you would never notice if you were just like going through once, you know.
Yeah.
But if you go every day, like you really start to see it. So I make a project like that where you just go out to any kind of natural spot, 10 minutes a week, and then you just write about what you see, right?
Damn, dude.
Um,
Encouraging the students to go hit a sesh, bro.
yeah, to go outside. It's a hard project, but like a lot of people don't do it. They're just like, this is stupid, blah blah blah. It's like it's sunny, like blah blah blah. But then you get a couple of kids who actually like do it and like see the value in it, and they're like, oh shit, this is actually really cool. Like I never noticed this much change before in the environment, right? So it is like a really cool idea. It's just like, but if you don't give it the seriousness that some people do, you're not going to get much out of it. Like if you just go out, do the weather, come back in real quick, don't really like do it authentically, or you cheat, right? You're not going to get anything out of that. But if you actually do it and like try it, then you'll get something out of it. So I think a lot of it's mindset, right? And that's why, like, I don't know. I think a lot of like schools and shit, like they worry, like, oh, we need our test scores up, our kids are failing, like, COVID happened, so like all their reading is behind and blah blah blah. And it's just like, kids will do things when they want to do things. Like, I think for anyone, once shit starts to matter, you'll start performing, right? There's plenty of people that I know who, like, didn't work very hard in high school, but then ended up with like super successful, like six-figure jobs. Or like, we had this kid named Kenny who was like a straight C student in college, and he's like a doctor now. So it's just like, like, because he just shaped up. He's like, none of this shit matters till I get into medical school. And then in medical school, he did really well, you know? So it like whatever happens in school in terms of grades and whatever, like is not indicative of what that person is going to accomplish like later in their life. So to like distill it to just like, oh, they did bad on their SAT scores, or like, oh, they have bad grades, like this person's never going to do anything important. And I'm like, it's just not true. Like half the time, all the frat bros just become like the rich ass bankers on Wall Street, and all they did was party and have fun in college. So like, or
Right.
like even in high school, right? Like all they did was just play football in high school. But here they are making like fucking six figures, like smacking deals and shit. So to say that like they're not successful is like not true. Um, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
like for example, I graduated with like so you have to graduate with 2.0, dude, but I graduated probably with like a 1.7 because of COVID. They dropped the credits.
Hmm.
So they dropped the credits like by like 60, dude. So 60 credits, dude. At least here that's like 2 semesters, bro. That you didn't have to pass. Only
Yeah.
only only class that you needed to pass senior year was economics and government.
Hmm.
So then you see somebody like for example my girl graduated high school like super like honors list like 4 point something, right?
Hmm.
And it's like I see her struggling and shit, and it's like she's not gonna make a lot of money, right, with her career. Is she gonna be
Hmm.
happy? Sure, dude. She's gonna be very happy because that's exactly what she wants to do, right? So the economic factor is not gonna be super heavy on her,
Yeah.
but it's like she's gonna go to school, she's gonna pay, she's gonna do everything, and then there's gonna be somebody that's just gonna hustle it out. They're gonna make more money because. But then yet again, like this person maybe not even graduated high school or something.
Yeah.
So I think that schools for the people that really like want to go to school, like if you don't want to go to school, but like yet again, dude, it's like super important to like at least have your like high school diploma, because otherwise you usually look fucking stupid, bro. Like how the fuck you not know how to do like 5 plus 5, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a certain level of like education you need
Right,
to just like fit in society
right.
and like
At
do
least
things.
at least a GED, bro. They even ask for a fucking GED at McDonald's, bro. Like
Yeah.
they want to make sure you know how to count that change, bro.
Mm.
So going back to what I said, I was gonna ask you, dude. Are you pro or anti homework teacher,
Oh, for me,
or even student, dude?
for what do you mean even student?
Like as a student, were you like,
Oh,
did you
dude,
like
I
homework? Do you not like homework? And as a teacher, do you like
mm,
giving out homework or do you not give homework?
homework is interesting because like if you look at some of the Finnish countries and like Nordic countries and what they do, they don't give any homework at all. and a lot of their kids perform very well on like standardized testing. Um, and then you have other places like, China and Singapore who like give a lot of homework and they also perform very well on standardized testing. So it's hard to say with like conclusive evidence like, okay, homework actually works. So for me, I personally don't give homework because like one, I don't have the time to give homework. Like I think if I'm a better and an older teacher with like my lesson plans down and I'm not like constantly swamped, I would give more homework. But I rarely give homework. Sometimes I'll give homework if like we didn't finish a thing in a class and it's just them trying some problems.
Right.
Then that's like homework. But that's not more than like, 10, 15 minutes. Um, so I don't really give it because in my opinion, like, if you give homework and you grade homework, like half the time you guys are just cheating. Like you guys are just gonna like,
Yeah,
okay,
copy
did
off
you
of
do the
somebody
homework?
else.
Okay, and you just copy down the answers and like, what did you actually learn from that? Like not much. Um, so like to me, it's like, what's the point? I think if I were to give home, like when I eventually do start giving homework, it'll just be like this is optional. Like if you need extra practice in this thing, here's extra practice, and here's an answer key for you to practice.
Right.
But in general, I try to do the practicing like in class. Like I basically like do what you would do for homework in class instead.
Yeah.
Um,
Like for example, like my chemistry teacher for both sophomore and junior year, right? That was my chemistry teacher.
mhm.
He would give homework out. We would do the homework, right? Like if you didn't do the homework, right? He would do the problem, right? So technically, you could just fucking do the problem as he's teaching it, right? And put
Yeah,
yourself a check mark, right? And this guy wouldn't check the homework or nothing. He would just like start calling roll, and you just give him a fucking number of what you fucking got, right?
yeah,
So you can basically get like 100% all the homework. But he said
yeah.
it's gonna show in the test, bro. Like
Oh yeah, it
if
does.
you're lying
Super
to
bad
me,
kids.
it's gonna show in the test, and it's not like I'm gonna change your homework grade or nothing. But like the test is gonna outweigh the homework, right? So
Yeah,
he's like, you don't have to do it, dude. Like, but I mean, if you want to lie to me, that's fine, bro. But like, the test is gonna show it anyways.
yeah.
And then
That's what I tell my kids.
other teachers would like, we would go over my calculus teacher. I remember, I never did the homework, but he would give us like do questions like 20 to like 32, right? And
Mhm.
we would go the next day, and they're like the homework, right? He would be like the homework, and he would only be like, he would ask around like which questions did you guys not do, or which questions were hard, or which questions did you guys not figure out the answer to, and those were the only questions that we would review. So
Mhm.
like if the whole class got like 20, like question 20, right, but two people got like question 21 wrong and another person got like question like 27 wrong, we would go over those two questions. So those people were cool, and then we were all cool, dude. But again, like not a lot of people passed the class. I feel like because
Mhm.
they're fucking stupid, bro. Like honestly, bro, if I would have paid attention, bro, I would have fucking aced that shit, bro. No problem. Dude, there was this one guy, bro. This fucking asshole, bro. This motherfucker was so smart, bro. This motherfucker would not even look at the board or nothing, bro. He would just be like, I know what I'm doing, bro. And he would ace the test, bro. Not even pay attention, not even do the homework, bro. He would be
Yeah,
in
you get kids like
classes.
that.
He would fucking just play like Clash of Clans, bro. That motherfucker like would ace the test. And the teacher even told us, his name is Mr. Sandoval, bro. Shout out to my boy Mr. Sandoval, bro. He got two
Mhm.
daughters, bro. He's a father now, dude. So he's doing fine. So he said that like 2 years before us, he had this kid, right? And the kid told him, the kid made him a bet, right? The first day of school. He was like, I won't do any of the homework, and I won't do any of the work, any of the homework. But if I ace like 100% every single test, including the final, that's the grade you give me. And they agreed to it, bro. And then motherfucker got an A, bro. Because this motherfucker did not get a single question wrong on the test, bro. I was like,
Damn.
damn, bro, this motherfucker tweaking, bro.
Those kids are always kind of disappointing in some ways because like they have so much potential that they're just like wasting,
Right.
right? Like those kids get like I have a kid like that who like he thinks he's really smart, but he's just lazy, right? So he's like just getting like shitty grades for nothing. Like when he could just like dunk on this shit. And like
That was me
in
100%.
in my opinion, it's like okay, you say you're smart, so prove it. Like and is like failing, does that look smart? Like not really.
That's what
So
my
I
mom
don't
tells
know.
me, bro.
Yeah, I mean she's right. Like, okay, you're smart, so then prove it. Like, and I mean like if you're smart, you should be able to get like do well in your job or get good grades without even trying. Like, you don't even have to try that hard to get like a B or an A, you know?
You're right, bro. I'm gonna go get a doctor's right now.
But but yeah, I don't know. That's what I see with those kids. Like, I mean, they do them, right? Like if they're just gonna put like minimal effort, then I'll just be like, all right. But not gonna lie, I do grade those guys a little harsher because I know they're smart. Like once you know they're smart, it's like, okay, you should give me more then. Because that's like what they need to learn. Like they need to learn how to give more um, versus less. Because I think they're so used to giving less because they can get away with so much. So like they need to be brought to like a higher standard than other kids because they are more capable.
Right.
So like you should try to push them to grow more because they are capable. But I don't know.
No, dude,
That's how I
dude.
see it.
And then going back to the guy that was like always playing Clash of Clans and stuff, dude. This motherfucker, bro, he would fucking help you, bro, with your work, bro. And
And
he
like
would,
not pay attention.
yeah, dude, like
Rough life.
he would fucking like look at your question, bro. He would laugh at you, bro. Not in a mean way or anything, but you just knew that laugh meant like you fucking dumbass, bro. How the fuck you missed this, right? And he would help you with
Yeah.
your he would help you with your fucking question and shit.
I wonder if he was like super auditory, like because some people can like learn just by listening, right? Like I wonder if he could like do all that shit with like just by listening,
No, dude, I feel like you already.
or he just like knew it.
I feel like he was just that smart, bro.
Yeah,
I'll Google him, bro. See how he's doing, bro. He's
yeah. I mean,
probably
it's funny.
he probably already have a doctorate, bro.
I don't know. You see some of those kids, like it's interesting. Like you'd be surprised. Like sometimes, like the regular kids end up doing better in life just because they know how to work hard.
Right,
Versus like the kids who are like super smart but don't know how to work hard. But you never know.
right. Do you want to talk about your lifestyle? Because I know that you're a very like athletic person, dude. Like very active person.
Hmm. I've been injured, so
You've been injured.
yeah. But lifestyle, what do you mean? Like, what do I do? Or
Yeah, I know you be rock climbing, you be hiking, and you be running and everything.
yeah, I would say actually like this kind of feeds into like question of like why would you teach, right? Um, because for me, like I have different values than Salty. Like Salty's much more of a hustler than I am. I'm kind of like on the opposite
Yeah,
end
but
where I think, oh, go ahead.
Salty's Indian, bro. So he's gonna hustle people out of their money, bro. Obviously,
I
bro.
guess. Yeah, but my like like if you were to rank stuff, right? Like I think a lot of people can like benefit from this. Like you can rank four things in your life, right? It's like your what is it? Like your loved ones and your family, your friends, your hobbies, your work, right? And you like your priorities of those are going to change throughout your life. And you're going to prioritize different things at different times. But for me, like I've always prioritized like relationships and like family time, hobbies, and like work is like my very last one, like all the time. Not to say that I don't work hard because I do, but like to me, free time is the most valuable thing you could have in life because that's like just time you're not getting back. And to like, for me, like working an entire year for just like 2 weeks of free time is like insanity. Um, and like, there's just so much shit that I want to do in life that like would be impossible to do if I like worked like a normal 9 to 5 job in the US. Um, and like yeah, so that's one of the big reasons why I did teaching because it's like one of the few jobs that it was like a good set of skills for me. Like I'm like a good presenter, good at explaining things, like I like relationships and stuff. um uh but I think like I wouldn't to be able to sustain the hobbies that I like to do, so I like to travel a lot and like go out and like go on long ass hikes and shit, and I like climb. And what else do I do? I just play video games. I like watching a lot of different like movies and things like that. Occasionally I read. Um, I haven't like I've been getting into calisthenics a little bit, like before I got injured. Just as like a new thing to do. Um, and then I don't know if I'll get back into running. We'll see. I was like, I think I'll still run, but I'm not gonna train for a marathon anymore. That's like too much. Um, But yeah, I don't know. Those are like my hobbies. I don't know if that's like what you're looking for.
No, yeah. Like, cause like again,
Long-winded.
you and I are like pretty like similar in the fact that I stopped working out. Dude, I need to start working out again. Dude. I got pretty fat.
Mm.
But again, like you and I, we're both like big winning guys, and again, like a lot of video games and stuff. And like calisthenics, I can't do calisthenics. Dude. You're gonna be shredded. You're already shredded, dude. You're pretty skinny, dude. And if you're doing
Me?
calisthenics, dude, you're gonna be fucking.
Nah, I'm doing the basics. I'm like still on the push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups.
Yeah, dude. That's gonna get you.
Uh,
That's gonna get you ripped, dude.
oh, it does. I like once I got my like protein right, like a long time, like even in high school, like whenever I was trying to get bigger and shit, I didn't realize how much protein you actually need.
How much would
And
you
you just
actually need?
need
Yeah.
to actually like grow, you need like at least 1 gram per kilogram of weight or 1.5. So you need to have like a surplus of protein to actually like grow. So for me, like I need to get like 56 and a little bit over that, right? So I have to have like 2 scoops and a half to just get like enough, which is a ridiculous sum. That's like the equivalent of eating like 3 steaks every day or some shit like that. Like it's just that's just so much protein that you need to like grow.
So
Um,
So you go off of kilograms, dude. I go off of pounds, dude, with my protein. So
oh yeah.
when I used to work out, when I was like in shape, back in like the good old days, uh, I used to do a gram of protein per pound of body weight, dude. And even when I was like in shape and everything, dude, I was always like at least like 190,
That's a
like
lot.
200, yeah, dude. So like,
That's like almost like a 2-to-1 ratio.
yeah, dude. So
That's wild.
I was eating, I was eating for breakfast. I was eating like 5 egg whites, dude, and like 2 eggs, and like 2 burritos of that, dude, and then
Yeah.
eating like chicken, like rice and broccoli, dude, like like a protein shake, like a packed protein shake, a lot of protein ice cream, dude. Like I never really had steak because like steak is kind of expensive. My
Yeah.
mom
It's
always
also bad for you to have that much.
right, so my mom always made like like your typical Mexican food and everything, dude. And that worked for me, dude. But like, you get so stuffed, dude. And that was me
I
like
ugh.
maintaining my weight, dude. And low key being in a little okay. Imagine being in like a surplus, dude. Those people that eat like some people eat like 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, dude.
It's just like insane. I feel like that's just like not good for your body at a point. It's just like so much. I feel like it's like almost like vitamins, right? You like know those people who, like eat way too many vitamins, like it just your body's just like, okay, we have too much. We don't really need this anymore.
Yeah, but then
And I
yet again like like every like nutrition label, 2,000 calorie diet. But then if you take somebody like you, for example, somebody training for like a marathon, to maintain your weight, dude, you need to eat like 4,500 calories a day, dude.
yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, like, and then yet again, you decide like which you get your calories in from. But when you kind of like trying to stay lean, but like yet again, like being like a somebody training for like a marathon, I'm assuming you eat a lot of carbs and a lot of like fats more than
Yeah, at
like
that time I was experimenting with like no meat. So I was eating like a lot of carbs and like a lot of like vegetables and stuff.
right,
Um, which was interesting because you actually run really good. Like when you like actually cut out meat, like your energy levels are just like there
right,
a lot of the time. Um, so I thought it actually helped me a lot. But you really should be getting like more protein if you want to like grow muscle and shit.
right.
Um, but I don't know.
I want to get into a question with you because
Yeah.
we're like 10 years apart, so you're like way more mature than me. I know you don't have any
Mhm.
kids, but if you ever plan
Not
having
yet.
kids in the future, okay, I guess you are.
Yeah, I do.
So, would you trust your kid in the American like public system of education? Like, would you put your
Mm,
kid in school, or would you try your hardest for like, okay, my
like
kid
a
might be
private school.
like private school or like homeschool? Because you as a
Uh,
teacher, you see like, especially in high school, you see what goes on. You see like what happens and like the basically the environment you would be putting your kid in.
I think it would depend on the town. Like there are some towns who have really good high schools, and then there are some towns who just don't have very good high schools.
Right.
Um, I think like personally, I wouldn't really care just because I have like the belief that like, I mean, I'm like an Asian parent, so I'm gonna expect my kid to get fucking A's and like B's at least because he's not stupid. But
Right.
like, but at the same time, like I wouldn't worry too much. So I think like for me, private school wouldn't really be worth it. I think if like my kid, for example, was not performing in a public school, then maybe I would consider a private school. Because some of those kids need those motivation. Like when I actually ended up going to private school, not by choice, simply because my mom wanted like Catholic education for all of us. But like that shit puts pressure on you. Like when you know like your parents are like picking up a second job to like send you to school and it's like expensive. It's, it's like 20K to go to high school. Then you're like you better get your shit together because like we're all putting this in for you.
Right.
Um, so I think it would depend. But I think like for me, I'll probably live in I wouldn't move to a town with a bad public school system.
Yeah.
Um and I think it really depends on where you live because there's like some places that like you don't want to send it. Like I live like no offense to Newark, but like depending on the Newark high school my kid went to, I wouldn't send my kid there. Like that shit's like you got teachers who are like burnt out, you got like kids who are like fighting and shit. Like it's just not a safe environment. But there are also parts of Newark with like really nice schools, like the magnet schools, for example, are really nice because it's like basically private school experience but public. So like you can go like if you're a science kid, you go to the science magnet school, or if you're an arts kid, you go to the arts magnet school. So like those kind of schools I would definitely send my kids to. Um, so yeah, I guess it depends. But I don't know. I'm confident my kid is gonna do well wherever I send them, but mainly because like I'd put in the work to make sure they're like studying and help them study or, do what they need to do well.
Right.
Um, so I don't know. What about you?
So again, you're saying that like you 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 have the opportunity of working at a kind of like a bit better of a school district.
Mine's like middle of the road. Mine's
Middle
like
of the
pure
road,
middle.
yeah, but like
Mine's
mine's like
like
in the very bottom, right? Like it's a
yeah,
it's a very like Latino, um, African American like district. So like, and not just that. Like for example, the other day, that I don't know if I asked you guys this because every time something happens with a fucking kid, I ask you guys, right? Because
hmm
I'm not trying to look like a perv or like even get fired, right? So
yeah,
so the special ed kids, the kids that literally, if you look at them, they start screaming, right? Like the very
yeah,
like advanced, like well, I don't know if advanced is the word, right? But like the kids
yeah.
that are
It's like high needs.
yeah, very high needs, correct? Yes, like people that like the kids that need like somebody like with them 100% of the time, dude.
hmm
This kid runs like I want to say across like at the school, because elementary schools are not the same as high schools, dude. They're built
Yeah, they're
differently.
very different.
Yeah, like the infrastructure and everything. So this kid runs about like a football field and a quarter, right? And he runs straight to me in the mower and stuff. So I turn off the mower, right? And I ask this kid like, "What you need, bro? Like, I'm trying to get this done, right?"
hmm
And the kid doesn't say anything, right? So I'm like, "Okay." And then this kid fucking sits on me, right? Pretending to ride the mower, right?
But
And I'm like, "Okay, bro. Like, I'm not gonna touch the kid because I don't want the kid to start screaming, right?" So I'm just kind
yeah,
of waiting for the kid to do his thing, right?
yeah.
And then this guy comes, right? The guy that's watching him, he's fucking walking over here, bro. And then he grabs the kid and he turns around and he says nothing, bro. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, how are they hiring these like so incompetent people, bro? And then like, I don't look at it as in like whatever, right? I kind of look at it as in like, like me being very mature and everything, right? I look at it as in like, that's my fucking kid. Like, if you want to be
Yeah,
like that, like philosophical about it, that's my kid, right? And that's what
yeah,
that's what I'm putting my kid through. And like, maybe like their parents are not like super fortunate where they can have like, because like again, yet again, like a special kid needs a lot of attention.
yeah.
That it's not a fully like mature kid, so they need like a lot of attention. So yet again, if you're putting them with like people that are just not about it, like not about like living, like you say, like you say you prioritize your things differently, so that's why you're a teacher, so that and you enjoy like the communication that we have with the students and everything. If you're just somebody that's doing like that for a paycheck, like
Yeah.
then it's kind of weird, like putting your kid through that. You know, like you just don't want that for your kid. And I be seeing things, and I be looking at things and everything, and even my mom. I'm very surrounded by like a school district kind of environment. You, my girl, my mom, like a lot of people that I know work for school district. So it's like some parents. So my mom told me about an instant that my mom's a para, right, for like a what's before
Yeah.
kindergarten, like preschool.
Yeah.
So
Preschool.
so this lady had this kid's like jacket, this little girl, right? And this little girl's like, how fucking heavy can a fucking little girl be, bro? Like 60 pounds, bro, 50 pounds. So they're fucking shivering. Like when it's cold, they're fucking shivering, right? So this
Yeah.
little girl's like shivering, bro, and like this fucking bitch has her fucking jacket, right? And she's not putting it on her, bro, because to her that's not her job, bro. Like what, bro?
Yeah.
Like how like inhumane.
Oh.
That's a little girl, bro. Yeah, and like it's
Yeah.
like, am I really gonna put my kid through this, bro? Am I really gonna like hustle it out and like make sure I don't have
Yeah,
a
but
kid until like I can at
how
least
are
like
you gonna
provide?
know though?
That's what I'm saying. Like parents just
Like
don't
how do you
know.
know?
That's what I'm saying. Like this is what we see. Like being like you know, like you're a teacher and I'm like a classified employee. This is what we see that the parents don't see. You know,
Yeah.
like you don't know what you're sending your kid through. You know, like
Yeah.
you don't know what happens inside the school, and we get to see it, right? So this is what I talked to my girl about. Like, dude, it's kind of shitty, you know, like seeing like some and then yet again, like for example, like I drive my truck inside of the school because I need to get it. I need to park my trailer somewhere, etc. Right? And some
Mhm.
of these teachers just don't care about like the like telling the kid like get out of the way. A kid doesn't know, right? Like a kid can get ran over, and like they just don't know, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like they need somebody to guide them because like again these kids are like 6, 7, 8, and then these people just don't care, bro. Like what if I lost control of the car, right? Or if like the accelerator got stuck or something, dude. These people are not taking care of them.
Mhm.
They're just there for the paycheck, dude. So like it's kind of like
Yeah. That's when I'm quitting, by the way. Whenever I get to that stage where I'm like not helping kids or like I don't have their interest in front of mine, then it's just like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm just doing more harm than I'm doing good.
right, and like
But I don't think a lot of people think like that.
yeah, but
Like I
like
think some of them do, but depends.
yeah, because like yet again, like the school district is a very secure job because of the union. So you're just kind of there, and like nobody's taking you out unless you do like a really bad thing, you know,
Yeah.
like a felony or something, right? Like you're convicted or something.
I think something interesting though, that was like it's advice that I got from one of my professors in my master's program, where he just said like I know that like our program is like telling you you're gonna be like, you know, a great teacher and like we're trying to like make you change the world and like shake things up,
Right,
but you're just gonna be like an average teacher for a lot of kids and you're just like they're not gonna remember you and you're just gonna be a thing that they get through. Um, so I think in with that perspective, right? Like thinking about like, you know, those teachers who like quote unquote don't care, like, you know, are not like giving the care that you would want to your kid, like um I don't know, I think your kid will be fine, right? Like you send kids to Catholic school and like, you know, we got like fucking abused in Catholic school and like we all turned out okay. Like
right,
me and Calm, right? Like we used to have Mr. Dooley like tell us about his sex life, and he's like a 65-year-old man. Like it's like fucking weird, but you know we turned out okay. Like so, I think like to a certain degree, like kids are just resilient, right? Like obviously you want to try to send them to the best place possible as an adult,
right,
as like a parent and everything like that. But at the same time, like you know, I think your kid's gonna become who they're gonna become, like you know it's like 50-50, like 50% environment but it's also just 50% like who they are,
right.
so but I don't know. So you wouldn't send your kids to public school, or like what would you do?
I would I would try to do my best for like my kid to be like, well, like yet again, like I can't deprive my kid from like going to school, right?
Yeah,
Because they need that experience, they need that social connection. But yet again, like I would try to make sure like it's a good school. But then yet again, dude, like us coming from like a, well, we're not. I'm not gonna say like broke or like fucking peasants, right? But like coming from like a humble beginning, you know, you hang out with those kind of kids and like, you know, everybody's in the same struggle of like it's a low income home and that's the people you hang out with and like those are your friends, you know. So
yeah,
maybe I would want my kid to like hang out with those kind of people. That's the kind of people that I grew up with, right? I want them to
yeah,
see like this is what real life is, you know. Like you're a kid and you don't need like because you know hopefully I make it in life and everything, and then technology is gonna be more advanced. So like you see like just play with the ball. Don't play with your like iPhone 36X, right? Just play. Just go outside, play with these kids, play with the ball. Just go to school. Just come home, and then maybe when you're home, you have the more luxurious life. But when you go to school, just be a kid and enjoy it. You know,
yeah.
that's. But what the part that I'm like kind of more worried about, it's like you know some of these people because I've heard of teachers having like sexual relationship with like sixth
That's just
graders.
fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, and then like again, like I've seen like teachers just don't caring about like the responsibility that they're given like because like yet again we're talking about like our kids, right?
yeah,
But what if you're like what if you're blessed with the responsibility of having a special ed kids, right? Those
yeah,
kids need a lot like what we're saying, like these people are just not like looking out for them, you know. And like I'm not
yeah,
gonna send my kid out for like somebody to not like care for them, right? And if it's a
yeah,
special ed kid, then maybe I can send to a program or something that's more more sturdy and everything. But yet
yeah,
again, if I'm blessed with a regular with not I don't want to say regular, but like a kid that's in his five senses and a very healthy kid, then yeah, he can go wherever. I'm sure he can tell me if something's odd, if something's off. But if I'm blessed again with like a kid that needs more attention, then maybe I would like look at my options more, kind of make myself in like
yeah,
put myself in a situation where if I'm like okay, like there's no school districts around this area where I can send my kid. Okay, let's move somewhere else, right? So that
yeah,
at the end of the day, we're already settled. Like I'm sure, like if I'm married or not,
yeah,
I'm gonna be like, I'm already settled. So like I just want the best for this kid, right? That I have this obligation to look out for, right?
yeah.
So I'm not
And I
gonna
mean,
put
in fairness, like public systems, like pour the most money into those kids. Like they get a big chunk of the budget, like special needs kids.
right.
Like they get like aides and stuff, and they get like all these
Hey,
modifications. They get like psychologists. They get like, and that I would actually argue that's one of the benefits to public schools is that they're required to classify your kid. Whereas like, other private schools are not required to classify your kids. So like whereas like if you send them to a private school the whole time, they could just be like, "Oh, your kid's just a little weird." Whereas like the public schools would be like, "Your kid has ADHD or like has this thing." Like they're much more active, I think, about like figuring out like if there's any kind of learning disabilities or anything like that. And they have more resources to do that. Um, which I think is like pretty powerful in some ways.
yeah. So yeah,
But yeah,
yet again, like there's some people like there's some teachers that like really care about like educating kids, you know, because like again like again some teachers don't make a lot of money, but like the difference here versus the difference in like Mexico. In Mexico, like you know, you get your list of supplies, right? And literally in the supplies are like you need to bring markers for the teacher, you need to bring Kleenex for the classroom, or like toilet paper. Right
yeah,
here like the teachers pretty much pay for everything.
yeah.
If the teacher
I wish we got more of a budget for that. I pay for a lot of stuff.
yeah, if the teacher wants to be really cool, bring some cookies. It's all out of your money. You know what I'm saying? So like you're kind of
Yeah,
dedicating your life to like making sure like yet again like the future of this country to be built like right. You know, because at the end of the day, like a big chunk of it's like on your hands. You know,
yeah. I guess that is kind of scary.
if you put it into perspective, dude, you have like 180 students ish a year, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I definitely think of like all of my like students as like my kids, and like how I would treat them if they're my kids.
Right.
Um, like that's definitely how I like view it. Um, but I don't know. I think like, people put a lot of pressure on education systems and they're there, but at the same time, like, your kids got to show up. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like I have a lot of students who are like they could do better if they showed up. Like, right? Like, I see a kid who's struggling, right? And I'm just like, hey, dude, you're struggling. You need to come in for like extra help for the test. And like, I'm here. Like, I'm here during lunch. I'm here. You tell me when you want to come. Like, I'll make time for you. And like the amount of kids who don't take you up on that offer would like, it's like probably 1 out of every 10 actually takes you up on that. Like the other ones are just like cool. They're like cool with like failing or like, just getting a C or whatever, or just like, struggling. And that's like I think the hardest thing to see as a teacher is like, you see a kid who needs the help, but they don't want it. And like, what can you do? Like you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink. So I think that's that's the hardest part. And like, we put a lot of pressure on that education system, but like it's also like providing a stable family for your kid and like making sure they do their homework, making sure they're like care about how they're doing in school. Like in my opinion, that matters like more than even just the teachers, right? Like a lot of the kids who are like super high performers in my class, they're all like Indian kids or like Pakistani kids or like I even have like Latino kids or Asian kids. Like all those kids do super well because like their parents are on their ass. Like they know if they're failing tests, like their parents are going to be up on their ass. Like, what the fuck you doing? Like I came all this way to this country to like give you a good education when you're just squandering it by like not studying and shit. Like this is your fault, you know? So
Right.
like I think that's like a big shift. And if you see that also in like other countries, right? Like, and why like they're putting caps and shit on like Asians and stuff in colleges. And like that's because like in in Asian culture, right? Like when your kid is not performing in a class, it's not like, oh, it's the teacher's fault. They look at it as like, oh, first and foremost, it's my kid's fault for not trying hard enough. And like that's how they view education. That's why they're more successful in many ways, is because like that's how they view it. It's like, okay, you're not working hard enough. Um, so I don't know. So I think like, education does take a lot of responsibility, but I think it's also on the responsibility of like kids and family. And I think like it needs to be bridged better so that like parents understand what's going on and where you're coming from. The kid understands like everyone's just got to have everyone's back, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what's really got to happen. But that's hard. It's hard. Like, sending out like 100, like not all teachers do it, but like sending out 100 emails for every single kid, like every day is just like, teachers got to have a life too at a point. Like I could spend all day like trying to like make sure every single kid like succeeds, right? But I wouldn't have a life. And then if I don't have a life, then like you're cranky and then you like take shit out on the kids and like you're an asshole, right? Like, so there's only so much time in the day. So maybe if you got more teachers and you got smaller classes, that would be doable. But that's just not like the reality. Like if I had a class of like 10, 15 kids for all of my classes, like yeah, that'd be super easy to like make sure each one of them is doing well. But when you're like got a class of like 29 kids and like 90% of your class is understanding what you're saying and you got these like 2, 3 kids who just like can't get it, it's just like, dude, I gotta move on. Like everyone else gets it, right?
Yeah.
And like you just need to come for extra help. I'll be here for extra help. And then they don't show up for extra help. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's a very complex issue, which is not easily solved. It's like a multi-tier issue of like, if our government in general just spent a whole lot more money on it, then you'll see great improvements in education. But until you're getting like more people to become teachers, you're making it a more attractive profession, you're giving the schools the funding they need so that they can like buy supplies and shit, like no one's gonna want to do it, you know? And like right now, like you're just like hoping that someone like out of the goodness of their heart like goes and does it, right? Like I don't know. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and then going back to like what you're saying about like parents being involved in everything and parents making sure that the kids are doing fine. My mom was like that, dude. But like I was always like a step ahead of like the system that the school implemented with like phone calls,
Yeah.
emails, and everything, dude. I would like unlink my mom's like phone number from the thing. I would refill the emergency contact list, dude. I would do everything in my power just so my mom wouldn't get my progress reports. I would run from like high school and like middle school home, like when they would do the paper progress reports, dude. I did everything I
Yeah.
could, dude, for my mom to like not like know anything about it. But then my mom, she always found out because my mom's like, I think it's a little different. I was like, luckily I was blessed with like two two college graduated like parents, right? But
Yeah.
some people like Mexican people,
And like a stable family on top of that.
yeah, yeah. Then like some people like their parents they went to like first, second, or third grade, right, or like seventh grade, right, and then they dropped
Yeah.
out, right. So like I never fooled my mom, right, like that just didn't happen, dude. Like, oh no, there's no homework, like she never bought it.
Yeah.
So like I was like lucky enough that my mom always like made sure I was doing good. Cause like even if I reminisced her like at the time like what the fuck, like why do I need to do this, right? Now like I know like I did good in school even though like it doesn't show it in the grades. Like I can
Yeah.
go back to school and like ace it no problem if I do the homework and everything. And that was all because like my mom was always involved in it.
Yeah. But I mean, end of the day, you turned out fine, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a job, make good money, like so that's what I'm saying. Like school is a factor, 100%. And like I think especially if you're like come from poverty, right? If that's where it makes like the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Other people who have that safety net of just like having money, right? They can kind of rebound and figure shit out. But the people who like don't have enough money to have a second chance, that's where education really comes in to like bridge the gap.
Yeah, like for example,
Um,
like you saying like there's a safety net. Like for example, like Tho's like very blessed, right? Like his family's
yeah.
like very well settled, so his friends are very well settled as well, right?
Hmm.
So, but then there's this one kid, right, that nobody likes, dude, in our friend group, right? From our other
Hmm.
Discord server, his name is Alex, right? And this motherfucker, bro, his motherfucker's like very well settled as well, right? But
Hmm.
this motherfucker's like hustling, bro. So this motherfucker's like 16, and he already like he pretty much already backed himself a 400K job like
The fuck?
right out of
Wow.
college, dude. Because this motherfucker just got the connections like that. He
Oh
already got
yeah.
himself like in a firm and everything, but like the connections he made him himself, dude. He just hustled it out, dude. He's been going through like all these programs, and that's what me and
Yeah.
him were talking about the other day, right? Like I was like, yeah, dude, you come from like I was like, these guys they come from like a safety net, like you're saying, and I don't, right? And that's what
Yeah.
that's what he be saying too. Like, yeah, these guys don't like they don't do anything, dude, because like oh, dad can pay for like this and that, right? Or like
Yeah.
they don't really know the struggle of like leveling up themselves, right? And Alex
Yeah.
doesn't either, right? He's very blessed, but this motherfucker is hustling himself, right? So this motherfucker already he's gonna be sitting like at like 24 already with like half a mil a year, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but the rich get richer, man. So
yeah, so
that's what was like interesting because I kind of had the same mentality as you. Like, I want my kid to grow up in like a diverse environment and like, just like experience people of different economic statuses and stuff and like just to understand. Um, but my girlfriend kind of made a good point where she's just like, because her older brother, he's a little bit older than us. He has a family and they're both teachers and they did that. Like they moved to kind of like, I think they're in Cali actually too. But they're in like a lower to like middle economic status like place. And my girlfriend's like, I don't want to step down because like her kids like don't really fit in with like any of the kids in the town, and like and she's like, it's just not safe. Like the kids can't go like have play dates at their house or like leave their bike outside or just be kids, right, without worrying about like dangerous shit happening
right,
to them. And like and her point was like, I didn't like come this far to like give my kids a worse off chance, which is like fair, right? She's like, I know it sounds like snooty and like and bitchy, but like, I want to move to like a nice suburb and like have my kids go to nice schools and shit and like have it be safe. And like honestly, if you can afford it, like why wouldn't you, right? Like any parent would want that for their kids.
Right.
Like why wouldn't you want to progress the family? You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of her point is like, she comes from an immigrant family, and they put in all the work to get you to this point. So to like squander that like, that positive and go backwards. It's like, why would you do that? Like your parents worked so hard to give you this extra chance and this leg up. Why would you like take that leg up away from your kids? Like you should continue giving the leg up.
Right.
And it's shitty to say that, but like, like everyone would do that. Like if everyone like could afford to live in a nice, safe place, like you would. Um, and like why wouldn't you and everyone would send their kid to the best school they possibly could where they wouldn't have to worry about their kid's safety?
Right.
So it's like, and I don't know. I think that really kind of changed the way I thought about things. Where I was like, yeah, she kind of right. Like I'm thinking I'll still take my kids like traveling and like, let them see third world poverty to make them grateful and shit, and not turn out to be like rich bitch kids. But at the same time, like she's right. Like you should give them the skill set and the tools to like go as far as they can.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like for example, like my dad has never said no to me, dude. When there was money, even when there's like no money, like he's always taking me out to eat. There was never like he just doesn't give me no, right. He'd rather not eat than me not have what
Yeah,
I asked him for, right? But yet
yeah,
again, my dad, when I used to be a little kid, when I used to be like not a little kid, like a preteen, like a what are they called?
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So he would take me, dude, like on the weekends, dude, and we would just work for like 16, 17 hours, dude. And he would give me like he would straight just give me like $80, dude, for like 32 hours worth of work.
Mhm.
And he would make me like buy the food and everything. And he's like, this is what work is, right? Like this is what I be doing, right? So I kind of like made me more be grateful about it. And my dad has always been like, they went to college, dude, and like kind of the way
Yeah,
that I made him realize like college just ain't worth it. That like because they were like, so what are we gonna do? I was like, I don't know yet, dude, but like just trust me, right? Like, but I'm not gonna go to college, right? Because they were very big, like on like, are you gonna go back to school? Are you gonna go back to school, dude? So I basically just sat them down. I was like, you guys both have college degrees, bro. Where the fuck is the money, right? Why are we fucking broke, bro? And
yeah,
they were kind of like, okay, yeah, we kind of get it now. And my mom goes to school. My mom goes to like takes a lot of college classes, a lot of like $600 every semester, for like professional growth that it's called on the districts, right?
yeah,
And I'm like, where the fuck is the money, bro? Like, you're studying and studying and studying and studying, and the money's just not coming in. The money's gonna come in like in 2 years, $80 extra a month. If I don't make
yeah,
like fucking $80 a fucking like an hour in 2 years, bro, I'm not hustling hard enough. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's kind of what I told them. I kind of explained to them like this is what I want to do, and this is what I've been talking with Salty about. And I was like, I don't really want to go to school. I don't really believe in it.
Mhm.
And they were like, and then that's when my dad was always like, you need to go to school, right? Because if you don't go to school, like I'm gonna feel like I failed you, right? Because I didn't raise you, right? And I explained it to him, right? I was like, I don't want to, right? Like I don't want to go, right? And then he kind of realized, like, okay, this kid, he doesn't want to go, but he's not fucking stupid, right? Like this kid, like, doesn't want to
Yeah,
go, but at least he's thinking of how to make it, right?
yeah,
So that's what I told him, and I was like, and every time like if I need money or anything, now I kind of don't ask him for money, right? Now I kind of just like go and like I wash somebody's car and stuff, and
hmm,
like I wash their car, and he helps me, dude. Like he doesn't let me die and everything. And he doesn't think I pay him, bro, but I always pay him. I always give the money to my mom, and he just she slits it in like in his wallet and everything, right?
yeah,
But he does it out of heart, Like that's my dad, and he's not gonna let me die.
yeah. Like principle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he knows I don't have it figured out yet, but he knows maybe I will, hopefully in the future. And this is
yeah.
kind of
My
like
dad
what.
would take that money, no problem.
Yeah, dude. No, no, no. It's not even that that he says no to it. I just don't offer it to him, Because I don't want
Yeah,
to treat my dad like an employee, right? Or like he's like,
yeah,
here's the money that I owe you, right? I
yeah,
just kind of like want to make sure like he's getting paid for what he's helping me with.
yeah.
So kind of just to like close down, is there any advice you can give somebody that's in school right now, kind of like in high school? Is there any advice that you can give to somebody my age, and is there any advice you can give to like me personally?
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of advice.
It is. Yeah.
On what? On do you want like life advice or career
Yeah.
advice
No,
or?
whatever, dude. Whatever kind of advice comes to your mind, whatever you think. This is what
Hmm.
somebody crazy's age should know. This is what crazy should know. Because maybe there's
I
some
think
advice that you think like I'm like not looking at, personally myself, right? Or
I
somebody like,
think in high school, I would my advice would be not to try too hard to fit in because there's a lot of kids who are like too scared to be themselves and then just like hang out with shitty friends. And like if friends don't want to hang out with you because you're not the way they think you are, then it's just like they're not good friends to begin with. So I would say for high school, that's like kind of the biggest hurdle is like don't worry too much about what you want to do in the future and focus more on just like doing the best you can and growing every day and then just like, just being yourself and just have fun because like I feel like it's such a special time in your life where like you have all the time in the world. So spending it just like, fucking around and being a kid, like, getting arrested by the cops or like, just doing dumb shit with your friends. Like that's like what you should be doing with your life. And like those are the experiences you're gonna remember when you get older. Someone in college, I would say be very focused in what you want to do. Like I wouldn't like college, you should still have fun and like enjoy your life, but at the same time, you should be working towards some specific goal. And I think if you don't have a specific goal in mind, then you should just take the time off and like work a shitty job or travel or, do something else and figure out things first.
right?
Mm. And then for you, I would say don't waste all of your best youthful years only working. Because like money's important, don't get me wrong. Like you gotta put food on the table. But a lot of people don't start living their life till they hit 65. Don't be one of those people. Like this is when you're gonna be youngest and like strongest and like most pain free. So like do fun, wild, crazy shit. Like go for shit. Like try things that are risky. Because you're only in your 20s and 30s once and like that's the time to take big risks because you can recoup it and everyone's just going to think back and you're like, oh, you're just dumb then because you're young. But doing that shit when you're like 30 or 40 and you're still like learning how to do things, like that's embarrassing. So I would say get all your dumb shit out while you're young and like go for crazy things because that's going to like help you grow the most. And yeah, and then just like live it up. Like don't just like because that's like one regret with my sister is like she was a hustler, right? And she worked super hard. She worked a ton, a ton, a ton all through her 20s. And she like now in her 30s, she's like, I feel like I kind of wasted my 20s and like just worked all the time. And I didn't like do things that I wanted to do, like be in a band or like, just like fun hobby things that she kind of missed out on or like traveling a lot and stuff like that. So that's my advice to you.
Yeah, dude. All I would do would be working, dude. But like, yet again, like sometimes I just be like, sometimes I'm like, okay, dude, like I already worked like this much. I'm gonna go spend like my money so dumb, dude. Which is probably like not your
That's what
advice,
money's
right?
for,
But
bro. Like
yeah,
that's what
but
it's for. Money's a
yeah, so
tool. Once you got your savings set, like go have fun with it.
yeah, dude. So
Um,
so I just be trying to like just trying to have something like to rely back on, right? Like something that always gets
yeah,
me income. But like yet again, like sometimes I'm like, dude, I need to go like take a break or something. Dude, I need to go like do this or do that. This
yeah.
is that's
Save
also
up and quit your job, man. It's the best thing ever.
yeah. So sometimes I just like that's why like I take breaks in between like working like two like full time jobs and stuff. Dude, go my day. Like I kind of need to like chillax for a little bit.
Yeah, bro. Go to Mexico and be a surfer for like 6 months.
I
Like,
can't do that, dude.
look it.
In the future, hopefully, dude. But no,
Yeah.
dude. Sometimes I'm like, dude, I need to kind of like chill down, and especially now, I kind of enjoy more like I enjoy life more now that well, like me and my girl, like we have a pretty weak like relationship, right? Like it, like we're trying to like make it work and everything. But like I kind of enjoy like life more now, right? Even if like I'm mad like 90% of the time, at least I'm with like the girl that like for a whole year I was kind of like sad about not being able to see, right? So
Yeah.
so I kind of like set back sometimes, and I kind of enjoy it, dude. I'm like, I
Yeah,
get to see her
just for
now,
the
dude.
ride.
So yeah, so I go to her to her little cousin's soccer games, dude. I be with her little cousin all the time, dude. And that's kind of what brings me joy, dude. Like, I guess me and her are, like,
Yeah.
completely different, dude. And I, like, to me, it's like, if she's fine and, like, my parents are fine and I can take her out to eat and I can take the little kids out to eat sometimes, then everything
Yeah.
else is fine, dude. Like,
That's
that's
like enough.
yeah, it's what matters at the end of the day. Family's what matters. Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, dude, I kind of do enjoy my life a little bit outside of work. Like, I feel like even though, like, sometimes I'm, like, really tired and stuff, I'm like, damn, dude, like, I gotta do that tomorrow again and shit, right? But then, like,
Yeah.
the weekend comes and, like, I go and I go get ice cream with them and everything, and we go and play soccer and we're, like, together the whole time.
Mhm.
And then yet again, I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, I worked, like, the whole summer. Like, last summer, I worked, like, I was working, like, 18-hour days, right? All 7 days, because my girl was gone for, like, a month and a half, right? But then
Oh
she
wow.
came back, and then, like, I was like, this is what I worked for, dude. So I bought her an iPad. And
Nice.
she started like working like professional jobs. So I bought her, like, a watch to wear, right? Some, like, something that could help her, right? So then at the end of the day, I looked at everything. I was like, okay, it was worth it, dude. Even though it didn't seem worth it, like, in the process.
Yeah. What's your like plan? What's your salty plan?
My salty
Curious.
plan.
Yeah. Like your life plan,
The
next 5 years.
the thing with salty, dude. Salty's very very like take one thing and like juice it out, right? So what I've always been telling salty is like I kind of want to like I want to do the like landscaping thing because I'm good at it for like extra income, right?
You wanna
But
what?
I want to get the landscaping thing to get me started, right? With like
Yeah.
having money to invest and stuff. And
hmm
Salty's very like, cause Salty knows how to invest, right? Salty has his crypto and his stocks.
Well, just be careful. I'd
Yeah,
say Salty has a lot more money that to play with and to lose than you do.
yeah. But like again, like I tell Salty like, teach me how to invest, right? And he's like, nah, bro. You're not there yet. You need to make some money first, right? And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I'm trying to figure out the money thing. I had something set up with like somebody was gonna let me borrow a truck, and then it didn't work out. So now I talked to Salty yesterday, right?
hmm
And he's like, you need a plan B, bro. I showed him my plan B. He's like, that's fucking stupid, bro. This is what you're gonna do, right? So I'm gonna work on that. But then like Salty's like, yeah, bro, take the landscaping thing and then make it into a fucking business, bro. Start a company, right? And like retire on that. I don't want to retire on that, bro. Like I don't want to do that, bro. Like I just kind of want that to like get me started and like if it brings money to me, sure. But then start something else, right? Like be like I just want to
Yeah, man.
work my ass off, so I can like be independent someday, you know?
Yeah. I think just make enough money and keep your cost of living low. And because again, like you need to think of money as a tool. Money isn't a way out. Like there are plenty of people who make a ton of money who are just like not happy because
Oh
they're
nah, dude, trust me, I need money to be happy, dude. Like,
yeah. But like but yeah, I think if you should do the landscaping thing and make money and then like, if you want to like try painting or whatever and be a painter, then like fucking be a painter, dude.
oh nah, dude,
Like
I'm not gonna go about life like that, bro. I need to make as
I'm
much
just
money.
saying, like, but
I
like, yeah, just like have a goal. Which, but it sounds like you have a goal that like you want to do something more than
my goal
just
is to have
that.
somebody's house on my wrist, bro, and go eat
Someone what?
somebody's house on my wrist, bro, and go eat whatever I want, bro, whenever I want, bro.
Yeah,
I feel like because like my parents like if I was still in Mexico, right? I tell my girl this all the time, bro, because like she thinks I'm stupid, bro. I tell her like all the time, like if I was in Mexico, bro, the world was perfect, bro, and my dad still ran his business, I would be running the business myself, bro, and I wouldn't have met you, bro. I would have been in Europe, bro, in a fucking yacht, right? Because like the business was doing like so good, right? But I feel like with the way that I am, right, I feel like God like is making sure that I earn it, right?
yeah,
Even like right now that I don't have a lot of money, like I don't like if somebody gives
yeah,
me something, right? If somebody gives me a shirt and it's from like Walmart, I'll wear it, right? But I wouldn't buy that shit myself, you know. Like I would
yeah.
rather buy
You want to
like
earn it.
yeah, like no. I'm saying like I just like for example, like I've always wanted a belt, right? Like a designer belt, and I never
hmm
bought myself one, right? Because like my girl needed this or like this and that, right? So she left, and I bought me like a $1,500 like outfit that I
My
wore
God,
once, right?
that's so
So
expensive.
So it's like that's like the kind of like life that I want to live, right? Like, I want to buy the belts that I want to buy and everything, but I feel like God's making sure that I know how to earn it, right? Like
Yeah.
He wants me to be the one that suffers for it, right? Because like
Yeah.
if I still lived in Mexico, bro, I would have just taken my dad's job, right?
Yeah.
And I just would have handled the things, right? But there, what isn't that? Like I wouldn't have valued it, right? Because
Mhm.
I didn't earn it. My dad earned that, so I'm pretty sure like I'm gonna earn it. I'm gonna work my ass off, and I'm gonna be able to live the life that I want to live. Cause I
Yeah.
want to have my kid, bro, match with me, bro. Fucking Gucci belt type of shit, right?
Oh my god.
Balenciaga cakes, bro. Me and him, bro. The motherfucker's gonna be like two, bro. His network's gonna be like fucking like $600 million, bro. And he's gonna be fucking like two, bro.
I feel like this is gonna be such a funny podcast to listen to, like when you're like 25 or like 30.
No, dude, this is
Like,
exactly what I'm like. So me and my girl, we started the project, right? And then I was like, I need to be able to like fit in more content, right? Cause she was like, I texted her today, right? I was like, you need to come over, right? We need to record another podcast, right? And she was like, what if we just do them like on the weekend, right? I was like, we cannot put out one fucking podcast a week, bro. We can't put out one podcast a week. It's never gonna grow, right? So I was like, okay, I need to think of an idea. So I thought of the idea of talking to all of you guys and being like, everybody else is like older, right? So I can talk to them. We're all friends. But then again, you guys can all give me advice, right? And we can all look like for example, like Crafty. Crafty already agreed to being with me on the podcast. And Crafty has like, he's in the military. So how is that
yeah.
different from like you and me, for example, right?
Yeah.
Or like Cheese with like a whole empire of kids,
Yeah.
So yeah, so I wanted to make that subsection. I made that channel. I made a cooking channel with my mom, right? So I'm like learning
Oh,
video
nice.
editing so that I'm just like trying a lot of things out, while I still
Yeah.
work
That's
and
what you should
everything.
do. See what sticks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I told my mom and I told my girl, and like I'm like, okay, so I have like these two sources of income that are like secure, but like, I'm trying to make like something else work, right?
Yeah.
And again, like I want to like make myself like so independently free that like I can help people out, right? That I can have a company. But if somebody wants to go see their family in Mexico, okay, here's a work visa for you to go over there and then come work for me over here, right? Type of stuff.
Yeah.
Just come live here, but go over there and like see your family, and I got you, right? Or like here's like here, dad, here's like retire yourself, right? Go fix your health problems. Go to the doctor. Go this. Here, mom. Here's money. Go to the dentist. Fix your teeth. Retire, right? Go back to Mexico. Build yourself a ranch, whatever, right? I feel like that's what would fulfill me the most, right? Other than
Yeah, I
like,
feel like once you make that much money, that's what you got to be doing with it to like feel good about yourself.
right, and like
But also
again,
just like do something with it. I feel like at a point, like there's only so many things to buy. Like you
right,
can buy a Ferrari, or you could like literally save an entire village and send them all to college. Like just like
right,
one
dude.
thing is just infinitely more impactful in life.
Yeah, dude. So I wanna like, I feel like for me to enjoy my life, I need to make a lot of money, dude. Like with how
That's
like
fair.
with how like my likings are, dude. Like I've always like worked to like have things, right? So like for example, dude, this one something I'm gonna
You're a
talk
true
to
American.
something I'm gonna talk to my girl about on the next podcast that I do with her. But like for example, we went to a birthday party, right, for her family, and one of her cousins. I love her, right? She's great, but she like everybody thinks I don't have a poor mentality, right? Because like, why the fuck would I think? Why the fuck would I live my life thinking, oh, I'm broke, right? Nah, bro. Like
That's how
I have to make it out, bro. Like what the fuck, bro? Why the fuck would I live my life like I struggled, right? Cause like,
Yeah.
for example, like they were telling me and like they were talking to me and shit. I would trade lives with all of them, dude. Like I would rather would have been broke like all my life, but my dad and I go through like everything that he went through, like being kidnapped and being like, like extorted out of money. My aunt being held hostage and everything. So I would trade lives with them, right? Any second. But there's people that was like people that have been through shittier lives that would change life with me. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
people don't really
100%.
like look at life like that way, right? And she was
Yeah.
like, go like I had my outfit on. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
My outfit that cost me a lot of money to buy, right, and a lot of effort. And she was like, look at the clothes that you're wearing and shit, right? Do you see other people with those kind of clothes? Like if I didn't work for them, right? And she was like, you probably never struggled in life, right? And I didn't say anything, right? But it's like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah, they never know.
yeah,
Yeah,
you don't know what I did to get this, and it's
yeah,
like literally just look to my fucking left. Look at this fucking girl, right? Look at those earrings. Look at the necklace. Look at the iPad. Look at this. Look at that. Look at like half of the things that are on her side card. I bought those things. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
you are only seeing like, cause I have two rings. I have a necklace, right? And
Mhm.
on that necklace are two rings, and then I have a bracelet, right? But they're like those are like gold plated bracelets, right? Like the Mexican ones, right? And she's like,
Mhm.
who do you see around with those kind of things, right? I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I didn't even buy these, bro. These were from my baptism, bro. And these rings are
Yeah,
not even mine, bro. These are my parents' like graduation rings, right? And I wear them with pride, right? So like, I feel like a lot of people don't really know like what is somebody going through. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know
yeah,
what like somebody did to like get what they got. So I don't know. I feel like you always gotta look like you gotta like look at life like somebody somebody knows something you don't, right? Like everybody knows something that you don't. Like for example, I don't know how to train for a marathon and you do. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I know how to lift weights and like eat more and stuff.
yeah. I
And
don't
my
really know how to do
and
that.
my dad knows how to do taekwondo, but I know how to do boxing, and that's because of him. Like you just kind of have to like learn from everybody, dude, rather than like going around like with a broke mindset. You know, like oh
Yeah,
I've struggled or I've this. Like everybody struggles, bro. Maybe you don't struggle with, like financially, but you might struggle like mentally
yeah,
or
yeah.
physically.
Everyone's got a battle.
Yeah, dude. So hopefully we all make it, dude, the way that we all want to make it.
Yeah, I
So
think
we
just be grateful.
yeah.
Gratitude and humbleness goes a long way.
Right. And yet again, like people don't think like I'm humble, right? Like for example, like Fade that thinks like this is the way that I act like in real life, right? But
You're
like,
all talk.
yeah, dude, like,
Fade's also quite cocky, so
yeah, but like this is kind of like the persona that I play, like, because it's the
yeah,
internet, bro. Like I don't go
yeah,
around like life just like behaving this way. And
yeah,
even with my girl, I'm like this, like this level of cockiness, right?
yeah,
Like
bro.
with
You're
my girl,
docile as shit. You're whipped.
yeah, like I'm like you don't know who you're dealing with, right? But when I go on the street, I don't go and like tell that to somebody, right? Because you're gonna be like,
Yeah,
what the fuck do you know, right? So I
mm,
just kind of go like around like life, like just kind of like I do my own thing, and if somebody wants to help me, then great, right? But I don't really like I don't go a lot. I don't go around life like the way that I talk to you guys. Like
oh yeah, for
I don't think
sure.
that's a smart way of going around life. However, bro, Fade, bro, I feel like Fade is the way that he is around life, dude.
Oh, Fade is very authentically himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Which is kind of
uh,
like,
I love Fade though.
yeah, dude. Fade's great, dude. This is why I wanted to have Fade in the podcast, dude. Like, how does
I
somebody
would
go
be so.
from
I'm actually really interested to hear other people's podcasts.
yeah, dude.
It's
Like
gonna be funny.
I already got Cheese to agree. Crafty.
Yeah, yeah. Let me know when you finish the other ones. I want to listen to theirs.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I should probably do Calm too, dude, because you know Calm has like a
Yeah, Com's got stories.
yeah, dude. Everybody has something to say, dude.
Com
Dude,
grew up in the ghetto, man.
Mayhem, dude, shit, bro. Everybody, dude.
Mayhem's I would love to hear Mayhem's
Yeah,
story, bro. Like,
dude.
I love Mayhem.
Yeah, dude.
That guy knows how to live life though. Like,
Yeah, dude. That motherfucker's
I
hella
feel
funny,
like,
bro.
yeah, Mayhem just like enjoys what he's got. Like,
Dude, he has a
he's like,
lot, dude.
oh, my house like blew down again. Fuck it. Like, guess I'll have to work more. Like he's just so resilient. It's like incredible.
Right. Dude.
But yeah,
I don't know how we were
yeah.
recording, dude. I got scared for a second, dude, because like this thing says like 00, but it says that it's recording, dude. And then I checked the file and it is recording, dude. So,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know how long it's been
That,
recording for, bro.
we've been recording for a while, like probably an hour
Yeah,
and a
dude.
half. It's pretty
Sheesh,
long.
dude.
You're probably gonna have to cut it. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna have to cut it, dude. It should be fine, dude. Trust.
Damn, it's such a long episode. Ain't nobody got time for like a
It's a
hour and a
podcast,
half.
bro. It's a podcast, bro. Nobody's gonna watch it.
Podcasts are like an hour.
You're
You
just
gotta
gonna
chunk it.
you're just gonna have to listen to it. I'll just cut the part where Faith came in, dude. There you go. Okay, dude. So thank you very much for being my first
Yeah, no
guest.
worries, bro.
And yeah.
I'm number